out the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnop.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vine, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Hey, good morning. How are you? It is a Tuesday here on the program. Hope everybody's well. Hit us up on our professional door text line, 540-391-0788. Also on the McClellan Chiropractic chat room. Hit us up there as well. Good morning, everybody. A little dance pop music this morning. Try to lighten the mood. Very difficult to do right now, but, it is what it is. Coming up today, Marva in Miami joins us, and that'll be here coming up at 6:45. Brian Seigla from the Boundary Corner podcast. David Smith will recap the NFL. The Chiefs win again last night. And then Mike Burnop will go back and reassess last Friday's win against Cal and talk about Louisville. And we'll talk about the basketball team a little bit. So we got a lot going on here today. I mean, that's a lot of bang for your buck. And if you do have bucks that you want to spend, you can become a premium member. You'll never be expected to, but it doesn't hurt to ask. It costs what? A couple of bucks. So we have all that going on. Thanks for all the great comments. Yeah, yesterday was outstanding with Phil Amacian and Todd Grantham. Todd Grantham gave us an education, didn't he, about how things work. So good. So good. Good morning, Paul. Good morning, Joseph. Hey, Opal. Good morning. How are you? Hey, Rura. Hello from the Solomon Islands. Good morning to you. From Marty Smith's Rags to Riches story to Brent Price slippery slide from the Hokie Mountaintop. And now to Morris Palm Coast Playground. BDST's on the air. Good morning, Morris. I needed that. Laughs are tough right now. But thank you again, everybody. And I'm not going to dwell on it, but, my fiance lost her mom Saturday, and I appreciate it. I got messages all day yesterday. From you. Awesome. Thank you. Means a whole heck of a lot. It really does. So we muddle through. Basketball season is here. It's hard to believe. Exhibition tonight, Radford women, tomorrow night the men, and we start the season on Monday. Wow. A lot of stuff going on. And great guests. And Marva, she's going to tell the story. I got a text from her. I was asleep, but he stayed up and watched every bit of the 18-inning affair last night between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. L.A., who will end up winning the World Series again, I'm afraid, went up 2-1. And I think she could not stop watching. So we'll get that story, and we'll talk to her about her Tar Heels, who continue to improve. North Carolina's playing a little better. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to end up saving the season, but And we're going to talk about the two Carolinas and two calls and how they were observed. It's interesting. But I had some messages yesterday about Shane Beamer, and he's in a lot of trouble. I talked to someone down there yesterday. We'll get into that a little bit and what has happened. Yeah, we'll get into all that about a decision that he made late in that game that has a lot of people's anger up. We want to thank Family Fencing for sponsoring our studios here in Reiner, 540-200-8294, familyfencingnrv.com. Give Jason Green a call. They're going to work through the winter. There's not going to be any stoppage for that. Free quotes, payment options, finance options. It's great. It's great. Check them out. Great company. And I'm so glad that we kind of got in on the onset of both of their startup and the show coming here on YouTube. Thanks to Mark Hundley, McClellan Chiropractic over on Peppers Ferry Road. Mark is the best, the latest technology. I'm telling you, if you have a problem like Travis Williams did with his back from Professional Door, residential, commercial garage doors, family owned and operated for 38 years, go see him and make sure that you talk to him. They need people. They need help. Great company to work for. So if you're handy and you want to work, go up and talk to Travis. We're going to get some more info about all of that. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of BDST, my exclusive bank. Our BDST fan question of the week, Ryan Price, 701 West Main Street in Radford, Trust and Estate Planning. And I think I'm going to center it around, do you believe that most of professional sports has a pre-planned outcome? How about that? That's the way I'll say it. How much of what you see do you think is legitimate? Just hit me up with the answers on our text line, 540-391-0788. And that'll be our BDST fan question of the week. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, Charles Lee and Company, 540-553-2971. And we are presented each and every day by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Jonathan Sweet and Company, bringing communities together. It is awesome. We have a new sponsor joining us on Monday. I had my Mondays mixed up. It's next Monday. We have a new sponsor. Thanks to the NRV Super Bowl, 25 years. Boogie Bowling coming up on Friday night, 382-5525 in Lawson's Mobile Home Supply, 300 North Franklin Street in Christiansburg. Give James Lawson a call, 540-381-8011. And go buy your next vehicle at Harvey's GM. And that's a great point that Paul makes. Who is going to work at these schools? It's one thing that Shane Beamer, I think, has going for him. And I talked to this person down in South Carolina Athletics yesterday about that. I mean, there's a lot of bold moves being made for these collegiate jobs, and I don't know exactly who's going to fill all these jobs. I really don't. By the way, I do want to let you know the Montgomery County Chamber of Commerce Day is coming up at Lane Stadium on Saturday. That's November the 1st. 12 chambers have come together in collaboration as they encourage the respective members to purchase tickets and join for the fun. Fantastic day of networking, regionalism, football. Go to gofevo.com/event/VTFB CHAMOFCOM25 to purchase tickets, just $25. Joe Wagner with Virginia Tech Athletics can also assist with upgrading group ticket packages for businesses wanting premium seating or lower bowl seating. Give him a call, 540-231-5554. And that's Chamber of Commerce Day coming up Saturday at Lane Stadium. But, yeah, I don't know. That's a great question, Paul. But he is in some trouble. And he drew the ire of a lot of fans because he admitted after the game that they allowed that last touchdown to score. it didn't bother me as much. I understand what he was saying. It's not usually the way you see it done, but somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but Alabama was within field goal range, and they have a kicker who I don't think has ever missed from inside of 40 yards. And their plan may have been to get as close as they could on one play and then just let the clock run down and then kick the field goal 2 or 3 seconds, and then you win the game. Shane had instructed his defense, if they tried to run a play, which they did down the sideline, you notice you saw a couple of South Carolina players stop and kind of let him run in the end zone. That's because Shane said, hey, let him score. Let's try to have as much time as we can. And he explained that in his post-game presser. Fans were irate, but we see it a lot. We have seen it a lot more over the last, 5-10 years. Heck, we've even seen running backs. You see guys falling down on the turf. They just fall down on the field before they get in the end zone to run some clock. So I don't know. It was a difficult situation for people to accept because I think they're looking at it like, all right, well, did he really create an easier scenario? Because instead of getting the ball back and having just to go the length of the field to get into field goal range, he got the ball back knowing he had to score a touchdown to tie the game. So I think that was the problem that people seem to have with it. So I'm not really sure where they're going to have enough people find these jobs, quality people. What it does mean is that guys that I know that, Tech has some interest in are going to get jobs. John Sumrall is going to be offered a Power 4 job. I don't know where. I would hope it'd be here in Blacksburg, to be honest. I think Bob Chesney is going to get a Power 4 job offer at JMU. I do. I would hope that's in Blacksburg. What I've already said, and I'm going to stand by it, I think they should go get Bob Chesney and Matt Roan and call it a day. And then you watch Virginia Tech football rise back up. I don't have a lot of confidence that's going to happen, but that's what should happen, in my opinion. That's my opinion. Everybody has their own opinion. A lot of people want James Franklin. A lot of people want a bigger name. I get it. You're not wrong. Nobody's wrong for having an opinion. Keep that in mind. Nobody's wrong. It's your opinion. You will never, ever, ever get judged for an opinion that you have about something like that. That's the way it is. But these guys are going to get jobs. Ryan Silverfield is going to get a job offer at Memphis. He's a good coach. And I was really impressed with the way his team bounced back on Saturday against a really good USF team. I think Coach Golish at USF you're going to have to poach these. There's going to be so many jobs open at the power level. You're going to have to poach these guys that are at the group of 5 level. I think they're going to have more opportunities. I'm wondering if how many of the retired not coaching gets back into coaching. I'm wondering that too, Joseph. I really can see Jimbo Fisher getting a job. I know that sounds crazy. But he's already talking about he's going around saying all the right things that schools want to hear. His agent doesn't want to hear it, but he says, I don't need any more money. I've made all my money not coaching. I do like that self-awareness. He just wants to coach again. Does this finally sway the narrative that the colleges will stop paying these buyouts, running out of quality candidates? That will erase the buyout. I think the buyout thing is ridiculous. Yeah, there's going to have to be some kind of stand up to these agents. And I don't know if there's behind the scenes bullying that's going on. I don't understand any aspect of how you're paying someone like Brian Kelly $54 million, although they're not going to pay him that. I think there's been a lot of rumors, nothing really confirmed about what they're going to reduce that buyout down to down at LSU. He wants to coach immediately, so that's going to help them. There were some rumors about his morality clause and things like that. I don't know if any of it's legitimate. if James Franklin gets a job, his buyout's reduced by about half too. I think that's the way most of it works. But none of that makes any sense to me. It never has. We've talked about this a long time on the show. And when you see the droves of firings and the money that we're finding, none of these guys are ever going to have to work again if they don't want to. I just can't imagine being rewarded that much for not doing the job you were expected to do. If you and I are deemed to not be valuable anymore, we're just removed. Tebow says, I'd take Bob Chesney over Shane Beamer any day. Yes. Yes. Chesney has the track record. Yeah, Shane has lost his traction down at South Carolina. He has. And we're going to get into why that is and why I think it's kind of obvious now that we have a guy down at Radford who's a South Carolina grad, and he goes to all the games. And he said the fervor in the crowd against Shane was unlike anything he's ever heard. Expectations in the SC are out of whack. Correct, Matthew. With expansion and bringing in all these good teams, no one has figured out that one team is still going to have to lose each week. And that's a really good point. Matthew, that's a really good point because it's kind of the NFL model. And Todd Grantham mentioned kind of this yesterday, right? The NFL wants everybody to be 8-8, 9-7 because they want it all just to be about parity. Unless you're the Chiefs, then they want you to, win every game. And these college conferences, once they expand one more time especially, are going to become the same thing. And I think there's a tough adjustment there. Matthew, I think you hit something there that it's not being talked about enough. There's an adjustment there that, now that you have 12 games, you might go 9-3. The playoff, you're going to be able to lose more games once it's expanded and still make it, just like in the NFL. When they expanded their wild card. So why, the expectations have to change a little bit. If the SEC and the Big Ten go to 24 teams, as you're saying, then all of a sudden, wow, look at the competition. And these are going to be good programs, right? Make it performance-based contracts, 100%. If you're going to do that with the players, and they should. Coaches too. Are you that desperate to sign a coach that you just blindly sign these buyout agreements? We're seeing that these coaches aren't very valuable for long. It's not as if they're having a tough time saying goodbye to high-profile coaches, James Franklin, Brian Kelly. And what is also it amazes me is that it's week to week. Like Hugh Freeze was ready to be ousted on Saturday if Arkansas would have beat Auburn. Now that Auburn won that game, nobody's saying anything this week, at least, about Hugh Freeze. And I know that's part of the risk of the business. I get it. And look, I don't feel sorry for any of these guys. They're millionaires beyond belief. They have more money than I ever dreamed of having in my life. But it's a very strange profession from that standpoint. A very strange profession. But I think hearing what I've heard, what's going on in South Carolina, look, this was a team that had momentum at the end of last year, right? Then they lost the bowl game. I believe they were heavily favored, right? That was Illinois. That's why Jen hates Brett Bielema, the head coach. That's true. Coach Omation, good morning. By the way, he was outstanding yesterday. He says when they added the 12th game, one more opportunity to get fired. That's a great point. It's a great point. But South Carolina had a lot of momentum. They rallied late in the year last year. There was some question, hey, maybe they're going to pop into the playoff. Didn't happen. Then they lost the bowl game. But, hey, still had momentum. They started out the year 13 in the country. Bet we kept seeing all this stuff. Best South Carolina team in 25 years, whatever. Lenore Sellers, a surefire Heisman Trophy candidate. And then they played Virginia Tech, and it was 10-8 going into fourth quarter. And you could sit there and go, that doesn't look like a team ranked in the top 15 to me. And they really haven't played well most of the year. And here they sit at 3-5. And now people are, they're ready for a change. And again, to Matthews and to all of your points, they're so well taken. I don't know where you find coaches going forward. I don't know. That's why I think right now the group of 5 folks have to be very happy, their agents especially, that all these jobs are coming open. South Carolina goes to Ole Miss on Saturday. The only controversy around Ole Miss is Lane Kiffin. He's probably got his choice of jobs right now. He's probably the hottest name bouncing around all these jobs. Feels like the LSU job and what it takes to be the head coach at LSU might suit his personality. Auburn's got Kentucky at home. They should win that game. So maybe Hugh Freeze saves his job. I don't know. So I don't have the answers to where all these coaches are going to come from. Most of these places are going to want to hire head coaches. There are some outstanding group of 5 coaches. There really are. And we've seen them and we've talked about them. But how many of these bigger schools, which goes back to a question someone asked earlier in chat about some of these retired coaches, some of these guys that are out of it right now. That's why I think Jimbo Fisher is likely going to end up with a job. He can recruit. He's always been a great recruiter. And that means I'm sure he's adjusted now. He's taken time to look at it. He can recruit the portal. Paul says that guy, Kiffin, I'm guessing, should remember how he fell from the apple cart. Tennessee, then, when he went to USC. Yeah, that whole thing was bizarre. He's matured a lot since then, but he is heavily desired, man. I could see him being at the top of the list. He came out yesterday and said, look, everybody talks about these coaching jobs, and you never know if guys are legit. But he said, look, I don't care about the money. He said, I've had enough things in my life happen. Money has never made me happy. I don't look at any of these jobs. I'm looking at the situation. So he's not exactly shying away from answering questions about these gigs. He's just biding his time. More and more seems to be coming out about what went on behind the scenes at LSU. There was footage yesterday. Did you see the footage on X yesterday? Some guy got into a bush and knew he was on his way to the complex one last time, and they filmed him pulling in, getting out of his car. Apparently Kelly saw him and kept looking at him. Then he was there and he filmed him coming out. Just weird stuff. Not a very good person, Brian Kelly. A lot of his old antics have been popping up on X. I think they had a lot to do with it. The recruit story where he was there recruiting when he was at Notre Dame and then had been negotiating with LSU, actually got a call. He asked to get up, got a text or a call. He removed himself from the room, said he'd go to the bathroom. When he got on the phone, he got offered the LSU job. He accepted the LSU job, went back down, ate 2 more plates of food, left the house after he ate, never called the recruit again because he'd taken the LSU job. You can't make that up. You cannot make that up. Hey, Rodney, good morning. So, group of 5 coaches, get ready. John Summerall, you will have a job opportunity. I believe that. I believe Silverfield will have a job opportunity. And I'm sure there's, some I'm just not thinking of off the top of my head. Yeah. Bob Chesney, 120 and 50. Yeah. At Holy Cross, where they had nothing. And you're going to say, what about the competition level? Well, we know what? When you have nothing, your competition level is pretty good. And he's kept it going. Hey, Jackie, good morning. Yeah, Shane, 5 games over at South Carolina? I mean, heck, Brian Kelly's 20 games over at LSU. I think if I'm still Tech fan, I'm concerned that JMU, Wake Forest are very direct, very bold, very focused when they make their hires. We went over to the Wake thing yesterday. Coach Elmation, we talked about it. The criteria he had. I'm looking for all these jobs. The education I've gotten from Coach Elmo, I'm looking for all the qualifications from these guys. 2 places of success, and then you're a Power 4 candidate. Bob Chesney fits that beautifully. Morning, Stephen, in your undefeated Yellow Jackets, stinging the opposition on a weekly basis. And my 2 guys I chose for the season, Diego Pavia and Haynes King, 2 of the best quarterbacks in the country. Joseph says about Lane Kiffin, better think twice about leaving Ole Miss. No pressure there like LSU and Florida. I know. Well, there is pressure, but you're exactly right, Joseph. Not to that extent. LSU job apparently is just a powder keg. I've been reading all these things. Oh, Jackie, thank you. Jackie has become a premium member. You're awesome. $2 super sticker. Appreciate you. There's no question. And it's interesting too, man. Everybody's talking about that LSU job and the culture around there. The governor got involved. I mean, it's so big down there. It takes the Brian Kelly thing. It makes you scratch your head a little bit, the whole thing. And when he sat there in that basketball game and he's doing the announcement, it's bizarre to me that people didn't pick up on that. Or maybe they did. With the fake Cajun accent. Florida seems like it's a similar type of environment, to your point, Joseph. They've got so much money. They've had so much tradition. It's just, who's going to be able to go do it? That's why I really think LSU's so arrogant. They're going to place a call to Nick Saban, but as Coach Elmation said yesterday, he doesn't think he'll take it. He'll take the call, but he won't take the job. And I tend to think that's how it'll go. That's one of the places he would take the call from since he was there. Won a natty. He's got a big enough personality and ego to handle it. So I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be so intriguing in December, the first couple weeks of December. Not only Tech job notwithstanding. And I just keep telling people, though, I think Virginia Tech's going to get a good football coach. I stopped worrying about it when I realized how much respect Bruce Arians and Bud Foster were getting around the circuit. But there's going to be a lot of competition. The competition level is going to grow. I wrote about this a month ago. It's all coming to fruition in one of my Patriot weekly articles. And it's fascinating what's going on. We've never seen anything like this. We've had lots of firings after the season, but to see it happening weekly at major programs, major names, and what did Coach both yesterday, Coach Elmation, Coach Grantham, they both said, hey, this is a direct product of the NIL and the money and the pressure. So it's changing the game, and we're living the moment as we continue to watch college sports evolve, things that, we didn't ever expect to see 20 years ago. And now here it is. The most thing about the SEC schools, if you don't win within a couple years, your history. Yeah. And that may be something that helps Tech because you're not going to have that kind of pressure. Yeah, I think so. And that's why we've said that the pool's a little larger at Tech. It adds to that. I mean, there's pressure, obviously, but yeah, you're right. It's not the same in any way, shape, or form. Kind of like the whole Ole Miss thing. It's pressure, but not the same as what Joseph mentioned. Can we make a BDST new coach pick'em contest? Yeah, we could do that. We could do that. Absolutely. 100% we could do that. No new really info on my end. Yeah, I saw yesterday there was an article. There was I don't know who it was making it around the it was making rounds yesterday. Someone says a guy from On3 was saying, hey, if you want to know what's going on with the Tech job, I've got the latest. Well, you don't know because they're not talking to anybody. But anyway, the crux of the article was that Bob Chesney's name is the one that's being heard the most now, is what he came up with around the Tech job. And I don't know what that means. Like, I know he's not talking to anybody from the committee. I mean, is he just talking around people who said, hey, who would you like that makes sense? Bob Chesney. Oh, okay, so I'm going to write that Bob Chesney is being talked about the most. He's not lying. He's just misrepresenting the context. All right? It's like BDST legal counsel Richie Davis. Every day he's in court. I mean, you're not lying. They're not lying. But what's the context of it? I think you solve the problems immediately if you go hire the two guys from MU. I don't know. I mean, I'm sorry. But I don't know. Tech fan, is that what you want because of everything that's happened? Would that placate you? Or are you just tied into it has to be a guy like James Franklin, a big name? It's so hard to hire a football coach, yet we already have, 12 openings. And we still have a month of the season to go. It's so hard. And you have what we're seeing too, when you have all these failed hires of the ones that are made, you're seeing that people aren't prepared to do it the right way. Search firms are involved. Agents are handling all of this. And maybe that's where the disconnect comes. Hey, Tootie. Good morning. So as I try to rationalize this, maybe that's part of it, right? Because right now, coaches have jobs, so they're not openly talking much, if any, to any of these representatives of other schools, but agents are. Search firms are. Does that create a disconnect? Yeah, all these openings may save some coaches. Yeah. You may see one guy who gets losing his job now. Brian Kelly's probably going to be a candidate somewhere. It's hard to believe. Not because he's not a successful coach, but he's just such a toolbox. I mean, that guy's just completely unlikable. I don't know anybody in college football who likes Brian Kelly. And I think that added to the whole LSU. Let's get him out of here, man. Remember the scene the other night? I told you, if you see it on X, he got met by the AD and the chancellor of LSU before he got off the field. And he's pointing up. The students were really letting him have it. The massive student section wanting him fired. Fire Kelly. Which apparently is what happened. My buddy down at Radford, who has season tickets at South Carolina, Said it was just an onslaught of fire beamer. So, and he was trying to say something about how the students shouldn't do. I don't know. He was still so arrogant after he got his butt handed to him by Texas A&M in the second half that he could control that. Still trying to be controlling on the way out the door. The very successful strength coach that they had at LSU, which he thought would be a slam dunk retention, he fired. He went to A&M, and A&M has just beat their pants off the last 2 years. So that came out too. There you go, Paul. Look at that. Great minds think alike. And that guy was kind of trolling a little bit, as he should. Have you seen that guy, by the way? What was Brian Kelly thinking? Not a good move. So a lot of bad decisions, a lot of arrogance, a lot of I can do it, nobody else can. And I think these coaches are very arrogant in many ways for the money they make. The buyouts they have is protection. It's big business. And, that's what Tech getting all that money shows you, that they finally understand that it is big, big business. The SEC is a totally different world. New TV contracts coming up. Ratings are just exploding on all formats, television, cable, streaming, you name it, apps. College football is being watched like never before, and it's going to be a massive, massive television deal. I mean, a massive television deal. It's the second most watched sport in this country behind the NFL by far. The NBA can't even begin to hope for the kind of ratings college football gets. And they're going to expand these conferences one more time. It's going to happen. One more time. Who's going to be left out? Who's going to be included? Said they put Brian Kelly's face on the practice dummies because of that strength guy. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. That'd be like some new coach who would have come to Blacksburg and, Mike Gentry. Right? Just getting rid of him because you want to get rid of him. Because Mike Gentry, Frank Beamer will tell you this day, the heck, Todd Grantham said it yesterday. Mike Gentry was the key to the whole success of Virginia Tech. The whole success. Yeah, it's a good point, Real Dino Kid. Interesting to see how Chesney handles all the attention because he's going to get a job offer. Yeah, you're right. How does he keep his team focused? They know. These kids now are on social media. They know exactly what's going on. It backfired on Hugh Freeze, Brent Pryde's first year against Liberty. When they went down to Liberty, that whole thing broke about him leaving for Auburn. And the kids admitted they didn't want to play for him on that Saturday. It helped Tech a lot. Yeah, JMU's tonight, right? JMU, Texas State. Keep an eye on that one. Matt Rohn, the AD at James Madison, who was on this program last week, said that's one that, you got to watch out. That's tough place to play. So let's see how the Dukes circle the wagons on the road. Yeah. So we'll see how it all plays out. Marva will join us here in about 5 minutes. I'll be watching. I want to watch some of that game. Absolutely. It's unfortunate that college football has to play on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but I get it. Joseph says, I want to see players in the portal go to established programs over programs this year with new coaches. I think you're going to see a lot of players go from programs, depending on the situation. I don't think very many LSU players are going to go to wherever Brian Kelly ends up because it's Brian Kelly. But I think Alex Golish, John Summerall, Ryan Silverfield, guys at Group of 5 that are improving their status, players will be asked to go to improve their status. It's a heck of a recruiting tool. Now, there might be certain Power 4 coaches that are well-liked. Like, I don't think you're going to have a lot of people that Penn State follow James Franklin wherever he goes. I could be wrong, but we'll see. But a lot of these Group of 5 players are going to follow their coach. There'll be conversations about both of us are improving our status. You want to go make more money? You want to go get more NFL ready? Well, follow me here to X Power 4 school. Kelly to UNC would not be surprising. I could see him. You know what? I feel like Kelly is the kind of guy that UCLA would really want to hire. Somebody like that. Now, I believe probably Andrew Luck's a little too smart to do that at Stanford as the GM there. We'll see. Hey, Heath, good morning. How are you? Something I've been hearing is can Chesney recruit? Yes. I don't think you'd have to worry about that at all. He's done it and if you go back and look at Holy Cross, the players he was able to get and what he's been able to do at James Madison, I believe that would be, and he understands the portal. I believe that would be, I don't think that would be something that you'd have to concern yourself with as much as, and I think that's why what you're saying is, and I think why I think so many people want a big names because of that concern, which is why so many people, not the only reason, but because, a guy like James Franklin has recruited the state so strongly over the years out of Penn State. Was that more him or was that more program? Probably a little bit from column A and a little bit from column B. If Kelly went to UNC, would he still use his fake country accent? Yeah, there was a lot of that on X yesterday from some of these pundits. Hey, I can't wait to see where he goes next and what accent he uses. Who hires a coach first? Oh, wow. It depends on if somebody can strike a deal with a coach who's not coaching right now. So a Brian Kelly or a James Franklin or Jimbo Fisher, someone of that nature. Who else is just sitting around, right, waiting to coach again? I don't know. People have been bringing up Urban Meyer a lot. But a program like that, a coach like that anyway. But we don't know where any, like LSU, like where do you start? I mean, they're going around trying to poach coaches. I mean, Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame immediately shot down Florida. He was the first name along with Kiffin that shot up for LSU. Now, he has not shot down LSU. He came right out immediately and told Florida he wasn't interested. That's a place he didn't want to go. I haven't heard that yet. But, man, you're the head coach at Notre Dame. You got him what? Notre Dame in the top 10. You've won that crowd over. You're recruiting well. You're at the place that never has to worry about money. You don't have to worry about conference affiliation. Pound for pound. And the pressure is unreal. But that's okay. Is pound for pound Notre Dame not only the most ideal situation in college football, but maybe the best job, right? So I'm just saying, if you're the head football coach at Notre Dame and you're winning and you've got backing from the administration and the fans, why in the world would you leave South Bend for any of these jobs? And that's what Brian Kelly did, and he found out. He found out the hard way. So we'll see. We'll see. Lots of people on the professional door text on asking me, where does tech stand now in the hierarchy? I don't know. People have been re-ranking the jobs. And tech's going anywhere from like 6th to 7th, something like that. They're going to be in the mid-range. That's probably where it is. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with all these gigs. Joining us now on the program, and she was up really late toiling for BDST. It's Marva in Miami. Good morning, Ms. Marva. How are you?
Good morning. I am feeling much better than I thought I would be feeling this morning. I just couldn't stop watching the game last night. I was invested. I couldn't. I was like, oh, I should go to bed. And I was like, but then I'll miss it. Then I'll feel bad. So I was like, no, I'm going to stay up. And my husband stayed up with me for most of the way. And he's like, I got to go to bed. So, yeah, I just couldn't look away because it was so exciting. And yeah, I'm even repping. I don't know if you can see this is my setup here. So bad. I'm repping my Miami Marlins today.
Well, yeah, you're in baseball mode.
Yeah, I'm in baseball mode. Yeah.
So you watched all 18 innings. You watched all 18 innings. Wow. Good for you.
Yeah. I was locked in. I know I had read someone said, oh, Major League Baseball is so messed up. They should not schedule this against the Monday Night Football game. So, I mean, during the commercials, I did turn over there to see what the score was, but it didn't look that exciting. And I was just like, yeah. I mean,
it's true. I didn't think about
that. If one of those had been my team, yes, but they're not. So I did check the score, and then I went back to baseball.
Yeah. Well, what time did you finally get into bed? 2 a.m.?
No, it was more like 3.
No.
Usually at 3. So I'm feeling okay now, but I know I'm going to crash so hard this afternoon, which is going to be for me at work. You are.
Well, maybe after you get the kids shuffled off to school, you can kind of just go, all right, let me take a little nap here. Right.
Well, I wish I had some caffeine. I am not even caffeinated, Rick.
Really?
Yes.
Look at you. Well, you're just energized. That's it.
Yes,
it's your excitement for being on with me. That's what it is.
That's it. That's what it is.
Yeah. Let's talk about your heels, because back-to-back weeks, lots of improvement.
Especially on the defensive side, I thought.
I know. Maybe they're starting to, and I got to be honest, I was at Radford women's soccer, but I was watching the end of your game. They had it up. They had a monitor up there. I liked the call to go for 2. I understand why. He was just like, you know what, let's just go ahead and win this thing. Our season's probably not going to be a winning record anyway. And I didn't have a problem with it. And you came that close to winning.
Yes. And normally, I always feel like that's a very gutsy move. And I was talking to my husband about it. He's like, that shows the team he believes in them. This is all about, the mind game. And I don't know. Should he believe in them there, though? I don't know.
Yeah, he should. He recruited 70 guys there, or they got 70 guys there. So, yeah,
but,
why not
believe in them? I just don't know. I don't know. But, the way, though, people are talking about him, Carolina fans are talking about him online, I think is just ridiculous. He should retire now. He can't coach. What was he thinking? No, I get why he did that. I totally get it. And it would have been awesome had the Heels been able to pull that off. I'm just not sure this group, especially on the offensive side of the ball, should have had that faith in them that they were going to do that. Now, you know how I feel about Gio Lopez. I know. And he really didn't play that well. His QBR is in the 40s for that game. And I am just not impressed. And I'm still looking at the schedule and trying to think, what Carolina might be able to do. And I don't know, but I'm encouraged by
How many wins do you see? How many wins do you see for Carolina? There's a couple.
They've already won a couple, yes.
Well, they didn't count. But I'm talking about Power 4 wins. Somebody's actually legitimate. But
let's talk about what I would like to see. What would just make me happy in a very bad season. I would love to see Carolina win the rivalry games down the stretch. That would be nice. And I think that's doable, right? That's doable. They're showing improvement. So if Carolina can come through and beat NC State and beat Duke, And they still have some winnable games on the schedule, right? Other than those, but those were the ones that would just make me happy because those are difficult losses to take as a Carolina fan. So I still feel encouraged that things are starting to turn around, but it's just very slowly. And I was reading this week about that transition from the pros to college, and that there is a learning curve there. You think you've done it at a higher level. Of course, I can step down and do it at that level, but the talent that you are dealing with is very different. On the pro side, even the guys who are on the bench are extremely talented. I mean, it takes a lot to make it to the pros, right? In any sport.
No, sure.
And the people you have, say, at the end of your bench on the college game is very different. They're going to go on and have regular jobs. It's not. So I guess it's getting used to that. And I'm still tired of hearing about Jordan. She was on the sidelines, apparently talking to some officials or something.
She was for this past week?
Taking pictures. And it's just like, you have to stop this. You have to stop it. Even if you say, oh, it's not a distraction, it looks bad. I mean, it just looks bad. Let her sit up in a box, have fun, with her friends or, whomever, whatever, boosters or who, I don't know. But please, can we get her off the sideline? Please.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing, Rick. It's not good.
It is. Do you think he'll stay? I mean, he can do whatever he wants. He doesn't need any money either.
No, it's not about the money. I think he'll stay. So I think he will. I still think he believes that he can turn this situation around. And I still believe that he can too. I believe he can do it. It's just not, I don't know if he's admitted, but I think there's some people in the program that admitted there were some problems with bringing all these new guys in. And it's just, it's not gelling like people would like. And I still think he has an opportunity. Let him see this, see what it's about. And I think he can figure it out. I do think it's about legacy at this point, even though I know it's solidified in the NFL, obviously. But I think it's about legacy. It's about pride. And I think he wants to show that he can do it. And I think the school is going to give him a chance. I mean,
they will. Yeah.
No. He's not going to be fired. Okay.
He won't be fired. No,
he won't. He's not. It's not about that at Carolina. They're not going to fire him. People are disappointed, but I don't think that the people in power are going to that would be a silly move. Give this guy a chance to figure this thing out, because he is a smart guy. And I think he will figure it out. And I have kind of, any win is golden and is great. I'm not, my expectations are low. That way I will either be pleasantly surprised or I won't be disappointed, because I'm not, just, it is what it is.
No, I get it. Wayne said she had her snakeskin pants on. Is that true?
No, that honestly, I don't remember that, but I do know she was taking photos. I mean, I don't know what she was wearing, but I'm sure people want to take photos with her. It's like she's a semi-celebrity because of him. I don't. Yeah, I'm just tired of hearing about her. I'm tired of seeing her. And again, we just got to get her off the sideline. I just don't like her on the sideline. She does not belong on the sideline.
She does not belong on it. No, she does not. But she's there. Right? Is she there? I wonder if it's every game. I guess it's every game.
Yeah, she's been there, and I just put her up in a box. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. For her to be in a box, she wants to support her boyfriend, fine. But she does not belong on the sideline. And I would probably say this about anyone. If he was dating someone a little bit closer to his age, still, why is she on the sideline? Right? During the game.
Yeah, Wayne just sent me a picture. Yeah, she's got on light blue. She's got on Carolina blue snakeskin pants. Hounding Bill, like standing beside it. That's what's weird. It's like clearly he doesn't want her there, not during the game. You can see it. You can just tell.
If he doesn't want her there, though, why not say? And you could say it in a nice way. Why don't I think you'd be more comfortable up here? You don't have to be mean about it, but it's just not a good look. And it's almost like she's a handler for him, which is weird. I don't know why he needs a handler.
You're right. It kind of is that way.
It's very strange, and it does make you wonder, is something weird going on? I don't think there is.
Well, yes, it has been for a while. They're 50 years apart. Yes, it's weird.
Well, it's unusual.
Unusual.
So, I I know sometimes these things happen, though. The heart wants what the heart wants, Rick. Okay. And that's fine. I'm not going to put a value judgment on their relationship. I just get her off sideline. That's all I'm saying. Okay. I'm not saying break up with her. Just get her off the sideline, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Remove her immediately. Come on.
Yes.
What are you doing?
I'm not saying don't let her come in the stadium. Let her sit up in a box.
Yeah, let her stay. I get you. I got you. Well, the good news is they are starting to improve a little bit. They are.
Yes.
You know what? The best thing is they are playing hard. And I said this about
They
Tech.
want to win. They have that desire.
Yeah, they are playing hard. Just like Tech's team. They're playing hard. Now, they're not winning like Tech, but they haven't won a game or two like Tech recently. But they're getting there. Maybe they get one or
They're
two. Like
trying, okay? And
I could see you beating NC State. I could see you beating NC State.
And Duke.
Yeah. You won't beat Duke, I don't think.
No, I think they can beat Duke.
But I think you could beat NC State.
Yeah, NC State.
You still have Wake Forest. You still have Wake Forest. You've already played Wake Forest.
Haven't played Wake Forest yet.
Do you play them?
You know what? I don't remember. I was actually going to pull the schedule. You pull the schedule for me.
You want me to pull it up? Okay.
Yeah, you pull it up because I don't want to. I'm so nervous about this setup, Rick. I don't want to touch anything that I'm off.
No, I got you.
Yes.
Oh, you got Syracuse this weekend. You can beat Syracuse.
That's a Friday night game. Yeah, and it's totally winnable.
Stanford.
That's homecoming. Winnable.
Oh yeah, you're at Wake. You're not going to beat Wake. Wake's really pretty good. Duke. I don't think you can beat Duke. You could win 3 of the last 5.
Right.
And he could go 5 and 7. And at the end of the day, that's not a successful
great,
season.
But it could be worse.
But you could go, okay, all right.
I mean, we have to treat him like he's a new coach because he is new in college.
He's a new college coach, 100%.
Yes. Yeah, he's learning as his team is learning. Okay. And again, that UVA thing was so hurtful. I just don't it's almost better to be blown out because then you know what's happening, whatever, you've mentally checked out, you know what's happening. And then to give you and your fan base hope and then for it to end like that.
Well, 2 plays have ended the last 2 games at the goal line. You were going in for the game winner and the kid fumbles at the 1.
Yeah.
And they recover it in the end zone. California recovered in the end zone, game over. You're a half yard away from the 2-point conversion.
So close.
You can be on a 2-game win streak right now, and the whole vibe around that program would have completely changed like it has at Auburn because they won against Arkansas on Saturday.
Yeah.
Things like
it could be. It could be. And there's still some opportunities and pulling it together, but like I said, he is very Belichick is very wedded to Gio Lopez, and I just don't believe in him. So I don't know. Anything that happens, any wins that come about, they are gravy, and it's great.
How's the Hoopsters looking? Have they played their exhibition yet?
They have played the exhibition against BYU on the road.
Oh, how'd that go? There's good competition. How'd that go?
That did not go well. They did not win that, but they only lost by 1. It was not bad, and I didn't get to see it because it was only on ESPN Plus, which I refused to pay for. So
you let the Mormons come into Chapel Hill and beat you?
No. They were on the road. They played on the road.
They played in Provo? Really? Oh,
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm going to go check now. But
I wouldn't think Carolina would travel for an exhibition, but okay. All right.
Let's see. I mean, I could be wrong because, again, I couldn't watch it. But
well, yeah. I mean, you don't pay to watch me on ESPN Plus? Come on.
No. I mean, especially for practice. You know what my thoughts are on practice. A lot of times I won't even watch practice because I'm like, why are we watching practice? It's practice.
It is practice.
I mean, do I want them to take a camera into where they have the scrimmage and watch that? I don't watch practice. I do at all levels. I don't watch.
I had people sending me messages on the text line upset that, thinking that Tech's going to be bad because they lost their exhibition Saturday. I'm like, no, it has nothing to do.
No. And it just teaches you, it's good to play a good team like that, though, for your exhibition. They're going to have an exhibition opponent coming. It's good to play them because then you see where your team is. And
I know.
Really good for the Heels. And they did discover they have some turnover issues. Because there was a chance. I mean, when you lose that close, there was a chance, and it's just stuff to clean up. But I am encouraged about them, even though, again, it was just practice. But I think they're going to be good, and I'm still excited about that season. I'm looking ahead to basketball right now. I'm still watching all the football. I'm taping them all too. I that's what I do. Okay, but I'm just not. My expectations are low.
Well, I like what Carolina BYU is a great exhibition. Virginia
Mhm.
Tech Duquesne is a great exhibition. Duquesne's got a good program. I wish Radford did that. Like we're playing tomorrow night, but it's Bridgewater. I don't know what you
I'm
get
not
out of
familiar
that.
with them.
Yeah, they're a D3
Who are
team.
they? Okay,
Yeah.
it's funny though. but
They're an ODAC team. They're an ODAC.
Yeah.
You just don't get much out of that. I wish
Yeah.
you could find another like state mid-major to play your exhibition, like an ODU or somebody like that.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Maybe down the line they will do that, and they'll see the value.
And the fact that you guys had to travel and you
Yeah.
kept it a 1-point game. I mean,
Yeah. And they're ranked. What are their preseason rankings? Like 6th or something. Like it's pretty high.
Who, BYU?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good. No, they're good. That's a great game. That's a great game. Yeah, that's a great game.
And it's awesome to see. Just see where your team is, and you can't really see where your team is when you play someone who's so far beneath you in talent level. But again, it's still all practice, though. Let's not get too excited about practice. They'll make me be Allen Iverson up here, but really, it's practice.
It's practice. Right? We were talking about practice.
Yeah.
So what time does everybody leave your house today?
Okay, so my daughter.
When do you actually get to rest?
Well, my daughter and my husband are already gone. Like they're on the way.
Oh, 2 out of 3 already. All right.
And my son is in about 30 minutes, 7:30, 7:35. I'll be taking him to school. But of course, I come back here and I have to start working. So.
Yeah, but you need to, you got to sleep off that 18-inning affair last night.
Yes, yes. But that was so awesome. I really enjoyed that. It was just fun to watch for me. I mean, I'm just excited. Again, I know it's so early, but people are already saying next year the Marlins will be there. I'm hearing that.
You think so? You're hearing that already? Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
I can't say anything about your team. The Padres don't have a manager, so who knows?
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. And what happened? We should talk. I know we got to go, but like, what happened to your Bruins? That was ugly.
Nah, they're not my Bruins anymore.
What?
Yeah.
That was your team since you were a little tyke.
Yeah. They let politics filter into things I don't believe in. So I don't.
So they're not your team anymore? Wow.
They continue to employ professors that were making light of the Charlie Kirk murder. And I don't care what side of the political forum you're on, when you don't do anything to admonish them or to let them go, and you're letting that go around in your classroom, that tells me that you're not any longer part of a normal culture. And nobody should ever pull for the assassination, murder, domestic terrorism. I don't care what side of the politics you're on. And when they took that stand, that ended it for me. I don't even care. I don't even care about the football and the wins. That, for me, that was enough.
Okay, so we're gonna.
You got to stand for something in life, and I think openly rooting for someone else's murder and demise, that pretty much is a big no for me.
Yeah, I had not heard that about what was going on there at the campus, but that's bad for him.
Yeah, but anyway. Well, all right, good stuff. I hope you can rest. I hope you can lay down and get some rest.
I'm still feeling good right now. I'm going to have some breakfast after this. But
maybe
yeah,
it would energize you. Yeah.
This afternoon, though, I will crash so hard.
Well, thank you for coming on. You were great. You were absolutely great.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to come on with you.
Yeah, well, thank you. We'll get some rest, and we'll talk again next week, and we'll see how you do against Syracuse this weekend.
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully, we'll have a win to talk about.
And we'll be talking about week 1 of college basketball.
Yeah. So excited.
Yeah. Be great. All right. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Back. There you go. Marvin, man. Yeah, BYU they've gotten into the Big 12, and they have all of a sudden become really pretty steady in football, and now basketball. There you go. Jimmy, BYU preseason number 8, Carolina 25. So, yeah, that's a really good effort by Carolina going out to Provo. Yeah, that's a really good exhibition. Tech's exhibition was a good exhibition. Duquesne is not just a mid-major. They're good. Kane's a good team. But I had people sending me messages worried, what's wrong with Mike Young's team? I'm like, nothing. Yeah, but that ended it for me at UCLA. I can't support that, and I won't support that. I don't care. That has nothing to do with what side of the you're openly cheering on someone's murder. This is where we are with things that are thrown out there promoting hatred. The media, the access media, has been a major part of it. Trying to influence violence just because you disagree with someone. I've never had a disagreement with someone where I wanted to go murder them. And when you're at a university like that, and you're just letting that go, you've gone beyond having a bias. You're now just part of a cult. You're now just, I don't know. So yeah, that did it for me. That did it for me. I'm done. Thanks, Tebow. I appreciate that. NRB, you have UNC traveling across the country in your house. That ain't practice. Every team out there wants to. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. It's a big time game. That's a big time exhibition. Yeah, I don't either. I don't think tomorrow night helps, Radford at all. It's going to be good vibes because they're going to put up a lot of points. And does that get you ready for the season? No. Winston-Salem State. Well, you know what? That's okay, though. TP, they got one major game in, and now they've got Winston-Salem State. Okay. If EMI is part of the regular season, so is William and Mary. That's why those two aren't part of an exhibition. You're not going to have an exhibition against somebody you play in the regular season. But Old Dominion, George Mason, James Madison. Oh, it definitely helps Bridgewater. Yeah, they get a lot of help from that game. Absolutely. Financially, and because they get to go up against Division I competition. 100%. 100%. We want to thank Family Fencing, by the way. Family Fencing is the first sponsor we've had here on the program. Family Fencing Studios, 540-200-8294, familyfencingnrv.com. They will work through the winter time. Go see Jason Green. Mark Hunley and McClellan Chiropractic, thanks to them for sponsoring our chat room. Go see Mark. Everything they have over there is just extraordinary. Professional Door Incorporated, Travis Williams in Dublin, right across from New River Community College, Route 100, 540-391-0788. That is our text line, and they're looking for employees. You should reach out. Garage doors is their specialty. We are presented each and every day by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. We've told you a lot about some of the great things going on up there, and the winter won't slow them down as well. That's when all your plans are getting made. That's when things are being finalized, and they haven't even hit the tip of the iceberg. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street, Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. Charles Lee, the blue and black truck driving around. You should see them. Go talk to them. Our BDST fan question of the week brought to you by the attorney Ryan Price, 701 West Main Street in Radford, Trust and Estate Planning. And I think the question this week is, how much of our sports do you think is still legitimate? Hate to have to ask that question. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner BDST here on YouTube. Thanks to Larry Ramsey. I've been with them for 35 years. Never had an issue. They're awesome. Awesome. Go see James Lawson, Lawson's Mobile Home Supply at 300 North Franklin Street in Christiansburg, 540-381-8011. And the NRB Super Bowl, 25 years they have been in business. Boogie Bowling, 382-5525. Go reserve your lane for Boogie Bowling. And Harvey's GM in Radford. They do it better than anybody. That's been my personal experience. I bought my last 3 vehicles from Brad Harvey exclusively. What are you looking for? Here's what I'm looking for. All right. Next day. Here's what we got. Here's what I can get you. It's awesome. Let's see here. Morris says, and now Joe Rogan is going to church. Is he really? Yeah, he's come around. Yeah, he's really good. He's really good. About sports, Wayne says all are tainted. Unfortunately, if you can bet on it, it's tainted. Yeah. I don't know, TP. I got to get a hold of Ronnie. I got Randy Thompson working on that. Got to get their pro on. Ronnie Horton. That needs to happen. Reach out to him. I got to get his digits. Great bowler. Great guy too, Ronnie. Good dude. Really, really good dude. I get so many good memes from our peeps, by the way. Thank you. Oh, sorry about that, Brian. Yeah, I'll send it to you right now. I got a little distracted, Brian. It's coming now. I didn't send the link to Seigla. He's next, by the way, from Boundary Corner. One of those weeks, man. There we go. Now you'll get it. Just got it. Let me let him know. Yeah. And we'll get his take on last Friday. There we go. So now he'll get it, and he'll be on with us momentarily. Then David Smith, we'll talk some NFL stuff, and then we'll get into more tech things with Mike Burnop. Coach Elmo says if Belichick's son goes to the NFL, he should hire Todd as defensive coordinator, assistant head coach. Yeah. Saban could pull that off. Yeah. How about Todd Grantham? Still people talking about all that stuff, man. How great was Todd yesterday? Ryan Pry, the attorney, Ryan Pry, sponsor of our BDST fan question of the week. What did I miss? Nothing beats staying up till 3 a.m. watching two teams that I dislike play baseball. Good for you, man. Good for you. We are almost into November, Wayne says, thinking our jobs each will end at the end of the regular season. Thoughts? Is anyone shocked LeBron's name has come up in the NBA mafia gambling debacle? No, not shocked. Yeah, that whole thing. And now he's conveniently hurt. Is this another Jordan? Michael Jordan, I mean, not Jordan. Not Bill Belichick's Jordan. I got you, TP. Thank you. I got Ronnie's digits now. I'll reach out to him. By the way, whenever we get Ronnie Horton on, you're going to be blown away by his impeccable hair. He's got good bowlers have impeccable hair. Just pristine. I think the first coach that's going to get hired is going to be James Franklin. How about that? I'm just putting that out there. Or Jimbo Fisher. I think Jimbo Fisher is going to get a job. I do. See, TP, isn't it gorgeous? It's just like, how? How does his hair stay that perfect? I don't know. I don't think it can move when you're approaching the lane. You know, it has to just kind of shimmer in the lights of the bowling alley. David Smith coming up at the bottom of the hour, joining us now. There he is, Brian Seigla from the terrific Boundary Corner podcast. What's up, Brian? Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Rick. Good morning. How you doing this delightful little Tuesday?
Nah, we're hanging in there, man. We're hanging in there. And, hey, get to talk about a Tech win, huh? Your thoughts on the double overtime victory, officiating. I don't have words for some of the things that were called, but, hey, Tech persevered and got a win against Cal.
Yeah, Tech persevered, got a win against Cal. It was a roller coaster, a 3-hour stomach ache of a game, but coming out on the right side of those for a change was very nice. As you said with the officiating, there was several questionable calls, but none worse than the roughing the passer there. That it could have been a 4th and 11. fourth and goal to go from the 11. Instead, it turned into a fresh set of downs there at the 2-yard line. So that was a tough way to surrender points, especially when you felt pretty good about how you'd been playing in the second half at that point. So
yeah, I agree. I felt like the way Tech came out in the second half and took the lead, I thought, okay, now they're just going to go ahead and get another touchdown. And, California couldn't stop them. And here they were. But then again, that call, the roughing the passer that kept the game alive, it makes you, again, now that we've had all this come to light in the NBA, you had to look at that kind of with a sideways glance going, why are they keeping the game going? The game's over right there. It's done. And they still, it just drives you crazy. And there's no accountability for it. And kudos to Tech for him to put it behind them and finding a way, and even after they fell behind immediately, the first play of the first overtime, Cal hit the little slant over the middle and there's a touchdown. You're thinking, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
But they still made the plays they had to. And boy, when you run for almost 360 yards, that helps.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely control the flow of the game when you're able to keep the ball on the ground like that and have some success. And I think what we hadn't really seen this year overall, but really definitely in a while, is we were able to kind of mix some really strong running game with some explosive plays in the passing game. And I think the combination of those two was really good because, I mean, Kyron wasn't super efficient from the pocket, but the ones that he was connecting on were super positive. We were able to move the ball down the field, scored on a couple of them. So, really just an efficient offensive production, other than that kind of lull in the second quarter when Cal, rattled off 20 straight.
Brian Seigla joined us from the Boundary Corner podcast. Tech takes some momentum back on their home field at Lane. Coming up on Saturday. Louisville, kind of an interesting a squad. You don't know. They stood up really strong against Miami. They were very motivated. Can they come into Blacksburg and still be motivated? That's the key thing. But I do know one thing. Jeff Brom is a really good head football coach. So I kind of find it hard to believe they're going to come in and not take Tech seriously. So Tech's going to have to play well again. But who knows? If they found something in the running game, they're one of the most efficient running teams in the country. They're in the top, I think, 7 in terms of being the most efficient rushing team. So they got something to work on going forward.
Yeah, they run the ball really well. They also throw the ball to Chris Bell really well. He's a really good wide receiver for them. So it's going to be a big handful for these Hokies, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I think we'll manage to put up some points on their defense. It's really just going to be I'm very concerned about our kind of picked apart defense being able to slow them down for 4 quarters. That's really what it comes down to.
It kind of feels like it could be that kind of game, doesn't it? Like Tech will score a few times, but will be able to outscore them. It kind of feels that way to me a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting with Louisville because they got the big win against Miami. They haven't played a super difficult schedule, but they've taken care of all their business in front of them for the most part. But we're kind of at this point now where Louisville could kind of continue their ascent and rock out the rest of the year, or they could take a little bit of a step back here, and hopefully the Hokies have enough for them where they can be a part of that conversation and be a part of putting them a little step behind the rest of the ACC.
What's been the vibe there with you guys at the Boundary Corner with the next head coach at Virginia Tech? Is it kind of the opinion shifting from anybody or anything?
I think everybody's kind of in their corner and waiting for what happens next out there in the world. I think we're kind of waiting for the next bit of news, the next shoe to drop. Obviously, with the way teams are firing coaches left and right here, we're probably sliding a little further down the totem pole on the hierarchy that we want to be. You could probably argue anywhere between 4 and 6 in terms of best job available at this point, where a few days ago, a week or two ago, maybe we were like 3rd or 4th. So so it's definitely all these SEC jobs opening up has definitely created some trickle down effect for the Hokies, but I still think there's enough candidates out there, and I think some of this is going to get taken care of itself because there's going to be a little bit of a shuffle with guys that already have jobs that are jumping up to better jobs versus some of those other guys that may be either not available or are coming off of a season that was a little underwhelming for their expectations.
Well, it was interesting. An article on 3 yesterday from Pete Nacos says that he's hearing the name Bob Chesney more and more and more. I don't know what exactly that means or who he's hearing that from, because the committee sure as heck's not talking to him. But he heard Bob Chesney's name a lot, he said, in his column. So who knows? Who knows if something's changed there? We'll see. We'll see. Don't know. Don't know.
I think I would have probably preferred the previous JMU head coach if we were going down that road. But you know what?
Yeah, that would have worked out pretty well.
Yeah,
I think.
Signetti would have been a really good get for the Hokies last go around. But
yeah, he's too old. I was told that he was too old.
That's what it was.
Woo. All right, so what's going on with the Boundary folks? What you guys got coming up?
So we are going live tonight. Going to break down the Cal win. Going to talk a little bit of Louisville. Going to make some picks against the spread. Your boy here was not good last week. 0 for 4. So yeah. I think everybody at this point knows don't put money on my bets. They're not hitting this year. So I do not have the magic 8 ball right now.
But you are going against the spread. So that's, I'll give you a lot of credit for that. So you are using the spread. So there you go. Well, listen, you guys have a great rest of the week. Enjoy the game on Saturday. Well, maybe we're talking about back-to-back home wins. Who knows? We'll see.
Hey, appreciate it, Rick. Always
right,
a pleasure.
All right. Me too, man. There you go. Brian Seigla from the Boundary Corner. If you're not watching them, do it. They do a great job. Check them out tonight. They'll have the panel of 4 up. Looks great. Jimmy asked, the next coach should be fired. Boston College is going to let Bill O'Brien go. Yeah, that's going to happen. They might go 1-11. And again, he's kind of bullied people around up at Chestnut Hill, and he's just not a likable dude. I mean, it's just not going to – you don't do yourself any favors being a toolbox and then not doing your job. TP says Chesney bringing in Tater as his GM is great with me. Yeah, that'd be my choice. If they were to make that move, Virginia Tech would be successful from year one. I don't know how that would look or what you would expect, but they would be successful year one. And then it would just continue to build. I don't know if they're in position to make that kind of decision, given what happened with the whole Brent Pry hiring. Crazy. It's crazy. And Ryan C. Morris's note in chat. That's good stuff. The state elder law here is like a mosquito in a nudist colony. But it just kind of feels like Tech's pigeonholed themselves a little bit because of the Brent Pry hire. Everything I said about the Brent Pry hire when it happened ended up being 100% the way it turned out. I think a lot of people felt that, though. It's not surprising to anyone when you dig down deep into it. Great dude. Not knock the dude. But being allowed to hire 2 coordinators with no experience, I mean, that's all on wit. It's just that's the way it works. That's the way it works. You have people making a lot of money making decisions, and they're not making good decisions. Where's the accountability? Everybody wants to blame the coach who didn't get it done. Should that coach have been put in that position? I mean, what's he going to say? He's offered the head coaching job. He's going to say no? Now, a lot of it is on the coach. The Brian Kelly situation is on him, 100%. 100%. I kind of have mixed vibe on the whole James Franklin thing. I think he brought a lot of it on himself, but his record probably tells you he deserved a little bit more of an opportunity to turn things around this year. It didn't happen because he anger too many people around it. We don't know all the interactions of all this. We don't know the motivations of people. It's easy for us to speculate and say, this guy should be here. Why is this guy going here? But we don't know. And where guys end up tell you that they had the same thought process in many cases that we did. But we don't know. But I feel good about Virginia Tech getting a good football coach because of Bruce Arians and because of Bud Foster. And I'm not going to sway on that. I don't know who it's going to be, but I think they're going to leave no stone unturned. And I don't think they need to feel rushed. But you're not going to see a name. It's what I keep reminding people. I get text messages all day on the professional door text line. You're not going to see a name that's still coaching another school. They're not talking to other schools. They're coaching their team. I don't know how much more simple we can make that. Is their agent doing things? Sure. But they're not having open conversations while they're trying to prepare their football team for a game. Only the guys who no longer have jobs now will be able to go around and have personal conversations if they so desire. That's why James Franklin has become a hot commodity at Virginia Tech. That's why Brian Kelly's probably going to end up somewhere. That's why Jimbo Fisher's going around making doing the rounds saying, hey, you don't have to pay me much of anything at all. I got money. Let's go. But if you're coaching another team and you see guys pop up on these hot lists on X that may or not have any kind of credence to them at all, most times they don't. John Summerall's not having open conversations with anybody. He's the head coach at Tulane. His agent's updating him on things, I'm sure. There you go, Morris. Ryan Pry, he responded to you there in chat. All right. Mike Burnop joins us at 8 o'clock. Now joining us on the program. There he is, the Radford Hall of Famer, David Smith. What's up, brother? Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to you, Rick. Just listening to all this college football talk. Have we just lost our way, man? Have we lost our way?
Yes, we have.
Maybe a long time ago. When you're talking about coaches getting let go, I mean, Virginia Tech's right there too. And after week 3, and then there's these buyouts, which have just almost baked in the fact that it's not going to happen. It's almost like a prenup. It's like, man, we'll get married knowing it's not going to last. So let's just set it up. I don't even understand. It's like you got all this money and all of a sudden we can't figure out what, the old saying, keep the main thing the main thing. It's just, can somebody just block and tackle somebody, please? And
right.
Please just block and tackle. Funny part about it too, there are people who are losing jobs. Brian Kelly, who's, not a warm and fuzzy guy on any level, by the way. Not at all. I mean, he's listen, if you love him, you love him. He's not my cup of tea, but 34-14 is his record. He's 34-14, and that's not enough. 20 games over 500. I mean, in a vacuum, that looks great, but we know sports isn't in a vacuum anymore. So there it is.
No, I'm with you. It's you hit it. I mean, and again, I said it a minute ago, Dave, and you know this. People who were paid a lot of money to be in charge of things didn't take care of things. Nope. NCAA, college presidents, commissioners, They all were collecting their checks, and they all ignored everything that was coming, and now they're going to do everything to stay out of their lawsuits because they know they're going to lose every time in the NCAA, and thus we have chaos, and chaos continues. It just continues to build.
Well, what's so funny is in places of higher education. So you have all these people with all, places of higher education, doctors, attorneys, lawyers, businessmen, people on these boards. And I'm sensitive to boards and those kinds of things for obvious reasons. But, you gatekeepers of the program in some level, and you get all this money. It's like, now we just don't know what to do with it. And in these days and times, I just, players moving and coaches moving. It's like 1-year rentals. It's like AAU almost. Yeah. And so thankfully, there's enough brands like Virginia Tech that we root for the jerseys and the stadium and the event. And that encompasses the reason to want to go as much as it used to be the players. But now it's different. And I'm not an old man, get off my lawn kind of guy.
No, just the way it is.
It's just the way it is. And I'm just thankful when the ball gets kicked off at 12 o'clock on Saturday that I can just get lost for 3 hours in the actual game And that's really what I'm about as it relates to all this other stuff. Until they get their arms wrapped around it, this is just what we have to deal with. And so,
no, you're right.
You're right. Every Sunday morning you've gotten up and there's been another coach gone. I mean, what's that? 3 SEC coaches already gone: Arkansas, Florida, LSU. Lane Kiffin in the conference is highly thought to be the Florida or LSU coach. He's got a team in top 5.
I know.
Players. I know. It's absurdity at its finest. It's great for you, Rick. Content galore, my guy. Content galore.
It is. It is. Yeah. It is. Well, let's get in. The NFL has completed its latest week. Let's get into some of the things you observed from the weekend.
Well, here's the thing, Rick. We're coming up on the last game in October, Thursday night. Yeah. My Dolphins, of all teams, are going to host my wife's Ravens, and so we'll be on opposite sides of the spectrum. But both teams coming off of wins after struggling to a 1-5 and 1-6 start. So we've got that for the last game in October. Time changes on Sunday. Basketball starts on Monday collegiately. So the NFL's getting down to it. And like Bill Parcells used to say, we'll know by Thanksgiving who's the pretenders and who's the real deal. And so for me, as I look at this thing right now, Rick, there are several teams that are starting to separate from the pack. But the theme, Rick, of the NFL season is it is a week-by-week deal. There are teams, and we'll go through these on the breakdowns when I get to the Hot Four. There are things we thought 2 and 3 weeks ago. I keep all these notes of stuff that we go over each week that aren't anything like what we talked about at that particular time. So for me, I think right now, next week will get us over the hump as we enter week 9 of 17 games, but 18 weeks. And we'll get to that point. We'll be able to talk about mid-year MVPs and things of that nature. But, Rick, there are some teams that we thought were going to be in a better place, i.e. Baltimore, that aren't quite there yet. But do not put dirt on these teams yet. There's still a lot more to go.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Well, what were some of the standout performances that you had from last week?
Rick, how you not going to love the Colts? How you not going to love the Colts? I mean, you start to think about what they've done. They're 7-1. 5 of those games are at home. But they are putting up record offensive numbers. It kind of gives you that 99 Rams greatest show on turf kind of thing out of nowhere a little bit. Trent Green gets hurt in preseason. Kurt Warner steps in. Here you've got the Colts. You have Anthony Richardson, a pick that we thought, was going to need some work. This kind of obscure offseason pickup of Daniel Jones. He shows up in there. He's kind of been around. The Vikings had him of all teams. The Giants originally had him along with Saquon, and they decided that wasn't good enough for him. And he lands himself in Indianapolis, and all of a sudden they're sitting at the top of the AFC at 7-1. Their only loss was a game to the Rams. What's not to love about them? We're going to see a little bit more. There's still some people out there that want to see them prove it a little bit more. But you think about that. And then, Rick, you think about the demise of the AFC North. I mean, we talked about that division always being a headbanger, and it still may end up being where they eat their own young. The champion of that division may end up being 8-9. When you think about the Steelers and the Ravens and the Bengals and the Browns, who can't ever seem to get it figured out, that to me is a division that I thought could yield 3 playoff teams. But who saw Joe Burrow getting hurt? Who saw the Bengals the Browns keeping 5 quarterbacks and trading one to the Bengals because Burrow gets hurt and Lamar gets hurt, and all of a sudden they're struggling a little bit. Meanwhile, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens, historically great defensive teams, all of a sudden may have 2 of the worst defenses in the league. So what was up is down right now. It's kind of hard to figure out how that's going to land. Meanwhile, those Chiefs just sit over there and they just kind of let everyone figure the rest of it out. Meanwhile, the Eagles, a couple hiccups early on, and they're sitting over there now at 6-2. And so the teams that were in the Super Bowl last year, even early on, folks didn't see them look like themselves. After we get through week 8 here now, heading into week 9, they're looking a little bit more familiar to all of us that saw them play at elite level last year.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor running very well. But I will say this, the Colts have beaten the Titans twice. They've beaten the Dolphins. They've beaten the Raiders. They've beaten the Cardinals. They lost our game, but they won the game because of just a bogus made-up penalty.
You got robbed. You got robbed. You got robbed.
We'll see. They do have a good win against the Chargers. That's a good win. They lost to the Rams. They have one good win. So we'll see. We'll see what they are. We'll see what they are.
Yeah, we'll see what's happening. So, listen, I'm not going to get on this program with you with all that logo behind you and not start this thing off by talking about the Broncos and Dallas game. So I'm going to take the wheel right here and just let you know that you put up 44 points in a game at Denver. Do not apologize for the schedule makers setting this up. This stuff is etched in stone years out. This isn't college football where you can schedule Middle Tennessee State as your homecoming. This is a professional football team that was coming in there as the number one offense in the league, or right at it, with the Dallas Cowboys. And you guys put up 44 on them. Now, again, they decided to leave their defense down in Frisco, Texas, but their offense did come to town, and give you guys credit for making sure that they didn't go off for anything more than 24 points. And it was the worst game Dax played all year, Rick. He threw 2 interceptions. He had not looked like that at all season long. More importantly than that, as I looked at it, and yes, if you want to blame Dallas, it's still a professional team. I think Bo Nix needed that kind of game, Rick, because, and for those of you looking at it right now, you see the skepticism on your host's face. He is not drinking the Kool-Aid quite yet. I'm trying to get him to sip a little bit of it. But 6-2 is 6-2. 4-0 at home is 4-0 at home. And with the Chiefs finding ways to keep winning games, it's all about winning that division. Win that division, have people come through Mile High in January, set you up for success a lot better than trying to go on the road, especially with a young quarterback that you don't have a lot of confidence in. 19 of 29, he had 4 TDs in the game. Rick, how about J.K. Dobbins running the football? Now, once again,
that's
Dallas
the key.
is,
Yeah.
I think Dallas was playing, like we used to practice in football. We would go light. We just go shoulder pads and no pants on certain days. We wouldn't tackle people to the ground. I think Dallas may have mistakenly thought that they were going light on Sunday. There were holes that J.K. Dobbins was running through along with R.J. Harvey. They weren't touched for 10 yards. But, Rick, as you sent me the clip, a lot of that because your offensive lineman was mowing people down. They were absolutely running downhill. And so you take that for what it is. 44 points in the football game. Dak Prescott, a pedestrian, 188 yards, 2 interceptions, no TD passes. And he's coming off that stretch where he had those games of 3 TDs and no interceptions. He didn't have that on Sunday. And Javonte Williams, who had been running the football well, only had 41 yards in the game. He eked in 2 TDs. You guys don't care about that. Give yourselves credit for winning the football game. Do not apologize for wins, baby. Listen, if you notice the NFL in their locker rooms, and we're starting to see more footage of it now, they always show the coaches celebrating wins after the games. Well, they don't do that in baseball. It's too many of them. They don't do that in basketball. They do it in football because the inventory, as I say often on this program, is very light. These wins are very hard to get. And who understands that more than these guys? And so when the NFL celebrates a win, Rick Watson, you celebrate a win. You're 6-2. You've got to go to the all of a sudden resurgent Texans at 3-4 on Sunday, which will be a really good football. Now, that'll be a test for you. Test for you right there.
The odds makers agree with me because the Broncos are underdogs. So a 6-2 team going on the road to play a 3-4 team, and they're underdogs. So there you go.
Well, listen, I don't disagree with that because I think the Houston Texans, matter of fact, they shouldn't be 3-4, though. Matter of fact, they should be better than that. They lost a couple squeakers early on. So you're going to that game. Now, win that one, Rick, and then I think I'll see a smile on your face next Tuesday.
Yeah, you win that one, then you'll change. Yeah, I'll change a little bit.
Yeah, but you're a skeptic. When it's your own team, you're a lot like me. When it's your own team, you feel some kind of way about it because I had no idea that the Dolphins were going to go to Atlanta. I was looking with one eye. I was about to flip the clicker. All of a sudden, how did they put up a 30-piece against the Atlanta frauds? I mean, how do you figure Atlanta out? I mean, all of a sudden they shine, and then Carolina waxes them 30-0 and that kind of thing. But meanwhile, Dallas, they're going to host the 2-5 Cardinals on Monday Night Football next week. And so that wraps up the first game recaps as we finish up week number 8.
Yeah, and, I had told you that, the Broncos were going to have all sorts of trouble with the Giants. It's 32-0 in the fourth quarter. Whatever happened there that week still makes me feel weird, scoring 33 points. So I just think Denver they're okay, but they're not that team.
I got you. Well, here's the thing, too. Sports is matchups. It is matchups.
Oh,
There's sometimes when you can get a team there's just no way we should beat them. And then if you do have a coach, though, that can scheme things, Rick, and he's pretty confident about his football team, right? His presser after the game was not holding back. He was absolutely all in Dallas's junk about how he knew they were going to demolish him. So there's that. So,
yeah.
Now, here's one for you. Game number 2. Ready?
Yeah.
So the New England Patriots, we got to start paying attention to again. After a couple years where we've been able to kind of step away from them, the New England Patriots put up 32 against the Cleveland Browns team, whose defense is top 3 in the league.
It's good, yeah.
Rick, they're pretty good. But we early on, as we started this program back and did this segment, you and I both knew that Mike Vrabel was going to be the goods. He absolutely has changed the fortunes of New England in a more modernized Belichickian theme. Drake May has followed suit and is playing so relaxed right now. Total MVP candidate as well. 18 of 24, 282, 3 TDs in the football game. Travion Henderson, Ohio State, Hopewell High School, Richmond, Virginia, 10 carries, 75 yards in the football game. But Mac Hollins and Keyshawn Butte, are they household names as receivers? Not quite, but they certainly seem to be now with the all of a sudden 6-2 New England Patriots sitting atop of the division that also includes the Buffalo Bills, who's owned it for a number of years since Tom Brady decided to exit south. Meanwhile, Rick, for the Cleveland Browns, what are they doing? You've got one stud. It's Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett knew what this franchise was going to be like. I think I'll leave. No, I'll stay. Thanks for the money. But he had a lot of confidence that they were going to get him a quarterback. They had 5 in training camp. And you know what they always saying, if you have 2, you don't have any. Well, what do you have if you have 5? You really don't have anything. And so they're for some reason, you and I aren't in there, they are not giving Shedeur Sanders a sniff. Why even bring the guy in there? Why bring him in there? Dylan Gabriel looks like a child trying to play the position. I didn't realize how small he was until I see him in an NFL uniform. It looks like it's a struggle for him to see over the line and make plays. Consequently, he's had 3 or 4 chances at it, and it's not working for him. Cleveland looks like Cleveland again. They send Flacco to Cincinnati. All of a sudden, they've got a little bit of a boost. The 2-6 Browns are on a bye week this week. They're 0-4 on the road. Meanwhile, the Patriots at 6-2, they host the Falcons at a chance to go 7-2. They've won 5 straight. We got to start paying attention to them, and we got to start paying attention to Drake May as a possible MVP candidate, brother.
Well, the Shedeur answer is easy. He's not a good player, and I think he's probably a worse person. That's easy. That's easy why he's not playing. Nobody's going to follow him on that football team. All right, one more because you've already talked about the Colts. Packers and Steelers. You got 2 of the most iconic franchises dating their eras. They got the Packers in the 60s, the Steelers in the 70s, 2 of the most recognizable uniforms ever, and they each show up wearing complete and utter slop. So anyway, it was a visual representation of everything that's wrong with the National Football League. And what the Steelers had on, I have no idea.
That was the worst.
But anyway.
That was the worst. That was the worst. And they had the chance to really be in an iconic moment. You had both those franchises with 6 and 5 Super Bowls collectively. When you think about the Steelers and the Packers won a couple of championships even before the Super Bowl. And you had a chance to trot them out there with 2 legendary uniforms, and you throw that mess out there, particularly the Steelers. Green Bay's, at least it still had the theme of who they are, just in a white color, which I don't need to see because we know who they are. They're green with yellow. That's who they are. But my God, that Steelers was hideous by hideous. I mean, listen, the only ones I've seen worse is the old bumblebee they used to wear, and then I think the Bears has one I think with like a patch on it. Listen, don't try too hard, guys. Don't try too hard. I mean, I had to convince you that the Miami Dolphins black wasn't as bad as some relative to what we saw the other night. When I saw that Steelers, I'm not sure that they even liked. They probably won't play in those again. They probably are saying based on that performance. But Rick, here's the funny thing. An example of why the NFL is a week-to-week league is the Green Bay Packers. They started the season, they beat the Lions, and they beat the Commanders on a Thursday night. So they started off Sunday and Thursday. They were 2-0. Then they lose. People forget this. Their loss was to Cleveland. They lost to Joe Flacco 13-10. That's their only loss this year. Then they tied the Cowboys 40-40 in the only tie, which in some eyes, Rick, people seem to think may be a favorable tiebreaker. Depends on which way the other stuff falls. But you have back-to-back ties and losses to Cleveland and Dallas. And then you limp around against the Bengals and the Cardinals, and we're sitting there going, because we even said it, it's like, what is Green Bay? But this performance makes you fall in love again. It really does. No pun intended. Jordan Love, right? 29 of 37 for 360, 20 straight completions. That doesn't happen unless you get a lot of help from a bad defense. 20 straight completions in the NFL is very hard to do, if not impossible. On 7-on-7, it's hard to do. The same thing on this week-to-week theory holds true for Pittsburgh as well, Rick. Last week, with the rest of the division reeling, with quarterback issues and injuries, they had a chance to put a clamp on first place in the division with the home win against Aaron Rodgers' former team in perfect conditions. Instead, the defense gave up 454 yards. That's a pretty expensive defense. That's Jalen Ramsey. That's Cam Hayward. That's J.J. Watt. All these guys got big contracts. The most expensive defense in the league look like an old paid defense right now. I have a lot of confidence that Mike Tomlin will figure it out. But how you going to figure out old? I don't know many people that can change old or young. And guys were getting beat all over the field. Some of it is Green Bay. A lot of it is Pittsburgh. That's their second straight loss. They were sitting at 4-1. They now host the Colts on Sunday at 1 o'clock. It's not going to get any easier for them because the Colts is going to spread them out and make them guard every blade of grass on that football field. A little bit of a short week, even though it's still Sunday to Sunday for them. And Green Bay is sitting at 5-1-1. All of a sudden, they're going to make notice in the top of that NFC North, although I'm still favoring Detroit. It's going to come down to them. I think they actually play on Thanksgiving. What a treat for us. They play the 3-4 Carolina Panthers on Sunday. But we got to give Jordan Love credit. And by the way, make a note. Tucker Kraft, that tight end, he's a dude. 7 catches, 143 yards. And Green Bay Packers, ladies and gentlemen, don't get too tired of them. They're the youngest team in the National Football League. They got a long way to go. And by the way, Matt LaFleur can coach, Rick. We don't say it enough. We don't say it enough. We don't say it enough. Although, here's the thing you got to know with him. Who's he had at quarterback? He's had Aaron Rodgers and he's had Jordan Love. Kind of funny how really, really good coaches also have what, Rick? Really, really good quarterback play. And Jordan Love plays like this, they're going to be heard from. They're going to be heard from.
Well, how's the hot four shaping up, right? Had to be some shifting over the last couple of weeks. What do you got?
Man, the hot four. We're going to start this thing off with the team we didn't mention this week at number 4, the Eagles. We mentioned them earlier around them settling in. They're at 6-2. They beat the Giants in a revenge game, 38-20. They are on a bye week, and then they come back a week later on Monday Night Football. They will play at the Green Bay Packers. That'll be a really good football game. That game could determine who gets the 1 seed in the NFC down the road. How about the New England Patriots? The aforementioned Patriots also 6-2, 5 straight wins, Rick. Showing them love. They beat the Browns by 19. They host the Falcons on Sunday. And then we've got the Packers at number 2 at 5-1-1. They beat the Steelers, as we talked about. Amazingly, again, they lost to the Browns. And they will be playing next week. Let's see that. I think they're on a bye week this upcoming week, if I'm not mistaken. And then we got the Colts. Colts at 7-1, Rick. Hard to deny them. The hot four for us, we value wins. They beat the Titans. They have a plus 116 differential. And they've got 6 games that they've scored over 30 points in. And in one of the other games, they scored 20. So congratulations to the hot four after week number 8. The Colts are at number 1.
All right, there's the top 4. And now we look at our picks. And I don't remember who we picked 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, Rick, here it is. You were 4-1. And I was 3-2. Your only loss that week was Tampa losing to the Lions. The Bucs losing to the Lions. I had the Lions. We are now tied at 13-12 through 25 picks this year. So we're locked even, brother. 13-12, and we've got 5 games for this week if you're ready, sir. Here we go. For week number 9, the Browns, Jets, Eagles, and the Bucs are all on the bye this week. So we will start with the 4-3 Bears at the 3-5 Bengals. Bears at Bengals. Both teams coming off of a loss. Bengals lose to the Jets, and then the Bears lose to the Ravens. Here we go.
Bengals are terrible.
Well, think about the Bengals defense, the Ravens defense, and the Steelers defense, all in the same division. And that, who would have thought that's usually a division that's a little more physical. So who do you like in that?
Zach Taylor can't be long for that job, even though he's lost Burr. I got to go with the Bears on the road, right? I mean, you lose to the Jets.
I kind of take, especially for that first one. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that game on the road. I think it was in Cincinnati.
It was in Cincy. Yeah, they blew a 23-point lead.
Yes, that's tough. So I also am taking the Bears. I'm glad to see you take Caleb Williams. So that shows progress for you.
Well, it's more that I'm not taking the Bengals.
I know what it is. I know it. I'm just trying to give you credit for the credit you're not offering. So I'm trying to get it. So meanwhile, the 5-3 Niners, the Niners get destroyed by Houston on Sunday. So they're coming off of a loss at the 2-6 Giants. The Giants really struggled after Scatterboo got hurt. You could see they just wasn't themselves against the Eagles. But they're home against the Niners, 1 o'clock on Sunday.
Yeah, I got the Niners because the Scatterboo thing just creates such a void. He had kind of taken over the identity of that team, and they had momentum with he and Dart and what was building there. And now he's out. It's just they don't have anybody to replace him. So.
Yeah, I got the Niners too. I just think the Niners aren't going to settle for another road loss. Although it wouldn't surprise me if the Giants clipped them because they'll be home and they'll be capable. But I'm with you. The 4-3 Jags coming off of a bye. Also at the 2-5 Raiders. Both teams coming off of a bye. 4-5 game. Yeah, I'm gonna make you think on this one. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Raiders at home. I'm gonna go Raiders.
Wow.
Bowers will be back, right? I think Bowers.
I believe he'll be back. I'm gonna go Jags in this one for no other reason other than to go opposite you, because we can't go straight down the path on this.
That's true.
But I'm just not sure. Geno Smith. This might be Geno Smith year 1 through 5 of his career, not year 5 through 10 of his career. He seems to be in interception mode. Maybe the bias helped him. For your sake, I hope he does do okay for you so you can get this pick. But meanwhile, we got the Chiefs at the Bills. Chiefs on a little bit of a run at Buffalo. That's a 4:25 game. That's going to be, this is an annual game they play every year. This year's in Buffalo. Chiefs at Bills.
Chiefs. The league's making sure the Chiefs are back in it. They don't get more than 5 penalties called on the average, less than any team in the NFL. They'll go in there and beat Buffalo, who, even though they're coming off a big win, I don't think the Bills are the team that we thought they were. So,
well, unfortunately, I don't want the Bills to ever win, and I'm going to take them. And I'm going to take them to win this. I just sense that at home, Josh Allen will do Josh Allen things. Although the Chiefs' defense is starting to round into form as well. I'm going to take the Bills in that one. And then finally, the 5-2 Seahawks are playing the reeling Commanders. That's a 8:20 Sunday night game. Boy, they need Jaden Daniels back. They are 3-5. They're so beat up in a lot of ways, but they don't quite look like themselves from last year, Rick. I think people kind of got the blueprint on them a little bit. Their schedule hadn't been very easy, but that game's going to be in Washington on Sunday night. Who do you like? Seahawks at Commanders.
I have a lot of Washington fans who are Washington fans. I'm now worried that Jaden Daniels is going to constantly be an injury. It just feels like kind of hurt him in college a little bit. It feels like that's where it's headed. I hope I'm wrong because I love the kid. But I'm going to go Seattle on the road. I think the Washington's just – because we don't know about Daniel's status, We don't know.
Yeah.
We just don't know, so it's kind of hard to pick them,
Yeah, I'm going to go Commanders at home. I feel like they know it's a little bit of a desperate play here. It's a Sunday night game. Washington hadn't had those in a little while. I hope he'll be back. My thinking is they seem to think without playing last night that he'll be back. And so I'm going to root for the Commanders to get that. My sisters will be proud of me for doing that. My hometown is Washington all day long, just like Virginia Cavaliers football. So I'm going to go Commanders, and that'll wrap up our picks for this week, Rick. So there's 5, and we certainly won't be tied after next week. We've got 3 outliers, and we got 2 that are alike. So there we go, brother.
Yeah. I hate injuries. Patrick Surtain's going to be out for, at least a month. Injuries are – I know it's such a part of the game, but – we're reminded, boy, the Scadaboo's injury was so tragic. He tried to get up. It's just, I don't know. It's just.
He really looked so wounded. And when I saw what he was pointing to, you just kind of go, the sport that we all love. And, we talk about the frustrations of the sport and what's broken about it. But we love the lineup and go play game. It's so fun, but injuries are such a part of it. And boy, it just impacts the fortunes of your team so much, Rick, when you think about but injuries and bad quarterback play, you really have no chance to overcome either of those in a large way unless you're just very, very special on one side of the ball. And we've seen a lot of that now. That's why it's important to build your depth. And by the way, get your backup quarterbacks in order, ladies and gentlemen. You need to pay and have yourself too. When your Broncos were really good, Elway had Kubiak. He stayed there forever, Rick. He stayed there forever. You never had to worry about a thing. I think you had a little shot of Bubby Brister once I saw him in person.
Oh, he got him through 98. Yeah.
He got him through it. I literally saw him when I went to Washington. And funny, I played against Bubby Brister as a youth in baseball down in Monroe, Louisiana.
He was great that year.
He's fantastic. He did a great job that year. So you can't be out here messing around and not have that backup quarterback squared away. And you certainly can't win without a great quarterback. Look at Minnesota right now. All of a sudden, Carson Wentz is out for the season. And you've got McCarthy on one leg trying to come back now. So Minnesota had an embarrassment of riches at quarterback last year. Had it all. Had Daniel Jones, right?
Terrible
had
decision.
Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
I mean, you got 2 starters and now playing for Seattle, doing a fantastic job. And the Colts. And meanwhile, you're sitting there now and you don't have any. It's just life comes at you fast in this league, brother. Sure does.
Well, and you mentioned injuries, and look what it's done to the 2 teams I had in the Super Bowl. Look what it's done to the Ravens season. Lamar. Look what it's done to Washington. They can't recover. I mean, Mariota plays hard. He tries. The kid at Baltimore's trying, but they're just not. They can't. elevate their teams. It's
a lot to ask. Well, and Rick, unless you have incredibly great complementary football, if you're putting all your eggs in the quarterback basket and that quarterback doesn't do it for you, then all of a sudden you're looking around like, what now? And so that's why you got to be careful and think about what a team like the Chiefs have done. Of course, Mahomes elite, but they got a really good defense. The Eagles has Jalen Hurts, but he doesn't have to do it all. He got a really solid defense. And so these teams that are built, that's why the Patriots are going to be heard from. They're a complementary football team. They're built all the way through. I think a lot of these teams, I even think Seattle's going to make some noise. We don't talk about them a lot, Rick, but Sam Darnold does a nice job for them. But Mike McDaniel does a great job as a defensive coordinator out there. McDonald. I get McDaniels. One of them's Miami, McDonald. So too many Mike Max, right? But you're right, Rick. Injuries are such a part of it, and you just want to navigate through it and make sure you can stay upright, man.
Well, somebody the other day compared Drake May to Ben Roethlisberger. I don't know if I like that. I think he's a lot more athletic than Roethlisberger was. I get what they're saying. Big, tall, strong quarterback.
Strong guy.
Drake May is going to end up being an absolute home run draft pick. It's amazing how bad Gerard Mayo looked.
Yes.
Him.
That's
and now
my
you
point.
see Mike Vrabel immediately tapping into it's just wow. Bad decisions. Bad decisions.
Well, Rick, you've seen this. I remember when Parcells would take a job and he would take a franchise that there was no reason that he should go there. And in 1 year, they would go from being a moribund franchise to all of a sudden with the same guys. You think to yourself, there's Curtis Martin all of a sudden looking elite. You think to yourself, he was just on the same team getting Vinny Testaverde. You're going, Vinny was all of a sudden these guys, Jumbo, and these guys are just playing great.
Coaches. Yeah.
I mean, it is worth its weight in gold. That's why I got a lot of confidence in what Denver's doing. And I'm not just saying it because you're here, because Sean Payton understands how to do it. He did it with New Orleans. New Orleans was not great. And so he's going to be able to, he gets the riffraff out of there. He keeps them on edge, Rick. He doesn't suffer fools lightly either. Now he is not a guy, if you're soft and weak, he's not cuddly at all. Nope. He's going to bring the energy. And so you better match it. And so, but a lot of those guys, I don't know if it has a shelf life or not, but Drew Brees seemed to thrive in it pretty well.
Yeah.
He's going to get his Hall of Fame jacket because of a guy like Sean Payton. So it's exciting to see the NFL is hitting its stride as the time changes on Sunday. Week number 9 of the NFL, some teams have not had a bye yet. And so they really are itching for a little bit of a break. So this thing is settling in pretty good. And thankfully, we don't have to worry about NIL in this level, baby. Everybody's on contracts. And we're just, who you're going to have. All we got is a little trade deadline action that'll be coming up soon. So we'll look and recap maybe our midseason MVP and coaches of the year as we head down the road here, maybe on one of these and maybe on the podcast later on too.
All right, brother. Good to see you, man. As always, have a great rest of the week.
Appreciate it. This is Highlander Week, ladies and gentlemen. Our boys start tomorrow night with the exhibition, and then they play next Monday, Western Illinois, right, Rick? If I got it right.
Oh, yeah. The Leathernecks coming to town. That should be
an actual name. That's an actual name, right? That's an actual name. That's
Western
an actual name.
Illinois Leathernecks.
Wow. Ran out. So Tigers isn't good enough, and Bears just couldn't go with that, right?
No, they got to go with Leatherneck. Yeah.
Leatherneck. What is the logo for that?
It's a dog. It's about his collar or something. I don't know. It's some kind of It's a bulldog.
We can't lose to Leathernecks, can we?
Well,
I hope not, right?
Don't think that'll happen.
Yeah, I hope not. Well,
I think there's a reason we opened with Western Illinois.
I'm hopeful. Well, listen, I know you're going to be launched into a heavy, long season. It's basketball season. As it gets colder, it's time to go indoors, brother. And I'm looking forward to getting down there. Getting down there with Pebbles and catching those games, man. It's the most fun time of the year. Holidays and basketball. It can't beat.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we'll see you down there. Absolutely.
All right, brother. You got it, Rick. Thanks.
Take care, man. There you go. That's David Smith with our NFL. Great stuff, as always. Heading into our final segment here. Thanks to Marva, Brian Seigla, David Smith. Thanks to all of you. Hit us up on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line and hit us up on our professional door text line. Joining us now on the program, 43 years in the biz, and his appearance brought to you by Louise Baker. The Baker team always getting it done, Long and Foster. Mike Burnop. Good morning, Michael. How are you?
I'm doing well, Rick. How about yourself?
Doing all right. Coach Elmo says hello, by the way. Coach Elmation. I want to pass that along to you.
Yeah, he texted me yesterday, and he's getting around now. He's on like all these shows. He's Mr. Football.
He is, man. He's great. He's great. You learn a lot, you know. You learn a lot from that guy.
Oh, there's no doubt. He's been around. He's seen it all as well, and he was a big part about how Virginia Tech got back on track when Frank Beamer's teams were struggling. You need a guy like Elmo that can come in and shake it up a little bit, and
Yeah.
get after these guys. And he didn't put up with any nonsense. That's for sure.
Well, hey, no nonsense last Friday night. It's great to be able to talk about a win. A lot of good stuff from Virginia Tech. They continue to play extremely hard. I'm so impressed with Coach Montgomery having those guys ready every week. And boy, it's amazing what happens when you find the running game, right? Tech able just to dominate up front. And that's how it solved the whole game, right? Wow.
That was the key. I mean, they ran for 357 yards. I mean, it was pretty amazing. 2 guys over 100 yards. I thought Hawk was outstanding, 167 he had. Averaged about 8 yards a carry. And then Kyron Jones, he was not to be denied. I mean, he put the team on his back and said, we're going to win this game. And he had a marvelous game. The 3 touchdown passes and the 2 rushing touchdowns. Time after time, he called his own number. And so, yeah, he did a great job, I thought, through that one bad interception. But, came right back after that and did a great job. So the defense hung in there tough. That was a game up and down and back and forth. Yeah. And you got off to a great start, which is what you wanted. You're up 10-0, and then you find yourself down at the half again. But they didn't panic, didn't quit, came out in the third quarter and scored and got the thing back on track. So, yeah, you got to love what Monty has done, how he's kept this team together, and how that running game got going, and especially in the second half. They just wore Cal down. And that quarterback, he's going to be a good one down the road. I don't know if he'll end up at Cal or somewhere else, big money next year. But he is going to be a handful. That guy's good.
He is good. He is good. And, Coach Montgomery got pretty emotional on the field after the game. It shows you how much it means to him. And I think that's parlaying itself into the team. And that's why he's gotten the response that he's gotten from that squad. It'd been easy for everybody just to cash in their chips at 0-3, but boy, they haven't done that at all.
No, you just it was so exciting in that locker room after the game when he came in there, and he was emotional. And, he talked about some of the great things that happened in the game, and Copeland getting those 3 sacks. That hadn't been done since J.C. Price did it way back in the day. And as far as the defensive tackle was concerned, and, the way they ran the ball and Hawk did and Kyron did, and, the pass breakup at the end of the game by IBM. I mean, it was just it was fun to be in there and be part of that. And I got you and you got me. And it was he got after it a little bit and showed some emotion. And, that was a game. They faced some adversity in that game, being down and having to overcome a couple calls that were kind of weird. And it was a good one to win.
You're very kind.
Well, I don't know. Passing the ball if it's a roughing the passer.
I just the one that kept the game alive. I'm just sitting there, and I'm just so incredulous. And I'm like, why are we even watching the game if that's what they're going to decide to do? It was such a clean. I don't know how you guys keep from just going. You know what? This has got to stop. This is just the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. It's so bad, so bad, so bad. Yeah. But anyway, Tech persevered, and now momentum. Louisville coming into town. Hey, who knows? It's at home. Louisville has a really good coach. We know they have a really good offense. They stepped up against Miami, but, Tech at home, maybe they can run the ball like they have. This could be a fun game. We'll see.
You look at Louisville the other night against Boston College. I didn't think they played great. I mean, Boston College was hanging in there in that game and, had it a 1-score game until very, very late. But, they gave up 3 rushing touchdowns over 60 yards. I mean, those explosive plays is what killed BC in that game. But Miller Moss is a good quarterback. He came from USC. He's not going to run the ball a lot. He's going to sit back in the pocket, much like the kid from Cal did, Sangapulatelli. He's going to sit back there and just go through his progressions. But Chris Bell is a really good receiver. They got some nice pieces. The running game is solid. But are they beatable? Yeah, they're beatable. The Hokies are going to have to play well. Hopefully this momentum that they got from beating Cal in overtime, double overtime, will go a long way. I thought the crowd was great, especially late. The ones that hung around at the end, that thing was as loud, half full as it was full at the end of the game. And all those kids in the north end zone with their shirts off, waving their shirts and towels. I mean, that That was priceless and hilarious. And the team recognized that. They saw it,
They
commented on
did.
the
They
game.
did.
Yeah, even Monty did. And that's fun to see that the love and respect that they have, and the ones that stayed, they got their money's worth. That's for sure.
Mike Burnop joining us on the program. Year 43 for Mike in the broadcast booth. And his appearance brought to you by Louise Baker, the Louise Baker team, Long and Foster Realtors, 540-320-0382. Check them out at nrvhomes.com. Well,
I got to see Louise the other night.
Did you?
Saturday night, we had a basketball banquet Saturday night, the tip-off banquet, and they honored the 1995 NIT champions.
Yeah.
And Louise was there and got to talk to her before it was started, and had a nice conversation with her. She looks great, doing great, and happy as heck that the business is going well. And the interest rates, always could get a little bit better, but they're going in the right direction. And it was great to see her. And then we had to do a sound check, and I thought I'd try to catch up with her later, but there was 350 some people there. I couldn't see her afterwards, but 11 of the 13 guys that played on that team were back on campus.
Oh, it's awesome.
It was awesome. There was one, Troy Mans couldn't make it. He was, I think, coaching football in West Virginia. And the other kid, Sean Brown, I think was in Canada, lives in Canada.
Okay.
Couldn't make it in. But yeah, East Custis, of course, is on staff with David Jackson. But, Travis Jackson was there, and Sean Smith, he was the MVP of the NIT. Gosh, great to see him, and Damon Watlington and Sean Good. Sean Good's coaching basketball at Roanoke Catholic, my alma mater. So it was fun to talk to him a little bit. So that was a fun time, having those guys back on campus and hearing the stories, and it was great to see them.
Well, and before that, the team got in some good work. That's a solid exhibition type of game to have. Duquesne's a very good program. I know they fell a couple points short, but that's the kind of thing you really need, don't you? A competition like that, getting ready for what, like Young feels like it's going to be a very successful season for his squad.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of coaches will go scrimmage two teams. They'll allow you to do that or have exhibition games. And usually Mike Young will have scrimmages against teams, whether it be Liberty or Richmond or whoever.
Yeah.
And this year, I think with this new team, and everybody was going to be in town for the Cal game, and they were going to honor that NIT team, that thought, let's have an exhibition game. So Duquesne's a good team. They played well. And, for Mike Young, it's a question of, you guys out there, you're trying to work on the minutes, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are. They turned it over way too many times for his liking, 19, I think it was. But Ben Hammond and Toby Lowell had nice games, over 20 points. And Neo was solid. He made some, mistakes. He's still trying to get used, I think, to the American game.
Sure.
The European game's a little different. But, boy, at 6'9", watching him just handle the ball and be a point guard is pretty amazing. So they start for real next Monday, just like Radford does. And it's going to be fun to watch those guys. I think they'll be just fine.
Yeah, I do too. He's still very excited, as he should be, about that squad. And that's the kind of work you really need. And it just gets you – however they look Saturday and how they're going to look in November is not going to look anything like they're going to look in January. We know with his teams especially, Mike, right? You've seen a lot of them. I mean, Mike's teams usually get squared up and ready to go conference time. So
yeah, they do, and it's going to be fun to watch. 2 less conference games this year. You're only playing 18. We're going to start off Monday against Charleston Southern. Then we go to the Mohican Sun up in Uncasville, Connecticut, and play Providence. So that'll be fun. And you got South Carolina in the ACC SEC Challenge, and it's going to be fun going to the Bahamas for Thanksgiving. They get a nice little schedule over there, depending on who you whether you win or not your first game. But that's going to be a fun tournament. And playing UVA, I think New Year's Eve at home. And you got Duke at home. I think 5 of the 6 league games are home on Saturdays. So that's going to be really nice as well. So schedule's good, and I think everybody's excited about basketball for sure.
Yeah, we've been to Uncasville a couple of times at Radford. That's a good place. That's a good arena.
Yeah.
It's a fun place to play. That's
cool. We played up there, played Villanova during the COVID years.
Yeah.
Beat with Villanova. They were highly ranked, and we had to sit up top. There was nobody there. It was the weirdest thing ever, but looking forward this time to having some fans.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. Mike Burnop joining us on the program. Against appearance brought to you by Louise Baker, the Louise Baker team, Long and Foster Realtors. just some things to look at. Brian Kelly, LSU, another big name coach, goes down week to week. It seems to be happening. I don't know where they're going to find coaches for all these jobs that are going to come open here in the next several weeks. Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, Rick. And, I saw something yesterday, and I would hope that maybe that would get some legs and get passed. Somebody sent me this thing where it's a congressman or a senator or somebody and thought that, you know what, there's so much money that colleges are wasting paying coaches who are not coaching anymore. And so many of these schools are funded by the states, by the government. And why are they wasting this kind of money? And they're trying to figure out a way to put a cap on salaries for college coaches and trying to figure out a better way to have these buyouts not be out of sight and crazy like they are. I mean, you're going to fire the guy and pay him $54 million?
I don't understand. Yeah.
It's just absolutely insane to me when there's so many people out there that could use that money, or the universities could. I mean, that's a whole budget for some of these smaller schools, right? I mean, you're going to just throw it away and pay it to somebody. You can't coach anymore.
Right.
Like, I don't get it. It's out of hand. It's out of whack. They need to do something and do it fast.
I don't know when we evolved into this. I knew there had always been buyouts, but never like these numbers. I don't understand how the agents took so much control of these negotiations and able to win that part of the contract. When did universities start being that careless? When did that switch happen? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and who is it? Is it the ADs that are negotiating? Is it the legal team that's on the campuses? Is it the president of the university? You just don't know who's behind making those decisions, but the agents are probably pushing, well, hey, if you want this guy, this is what it's going to take. You're going to have to do this buyout.
Yeah.
Well, no, we're not going to do that. Take it or leave it. And so somebody's got to put their foot down. I mean, it's just gotten out of whack and out of control. Just thinking if, you get the axe over there, you'd walk away with about $5 million, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, what's the motivation to go back? That's what Jimbo Fisher's going around saying, right? He goes, you know what? If you hire me as your coach, it's not going to take much money. I've got enough money. It's interesting that he's going out and saying that. His agent's got to be like, stop. But there's guys like that are going to get jobs again because there's just going to be so many openings. It feels like there's going to be a whole lot more coming up. It really does.
Well, there will be. And then when the dominoes start falling, if like a Lane Kiffin goes to Florida or, whoever takes the LSU job, those guys are going to end up coaching somewhere. I mean, Monty, if he doesn't have a chance to get the job at Virginia Tech, which probably is not going to happen just because I'm sure they feel like they probably need to make a splash hire, he's going to end up as a head coach somewhere. That guy's done a great job.
I know.
He deserves to be coaching at a nice college team somewhere in this land. I mean, he's done a remarkable job keeping those guys together and showing what he's all about too. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of jobs open, and it's going to be interesting to see where the dominoes fall.
I think it's a great point, Mike. I think he has to, right? Even if it's not a P4 job, he's got to be somebody that has looked and said, wow, look at what he's done to keep that program headed in the right direction. There's got to be somebody that would want to interview that guy, right?
Yeah, no, and when you think about it, I mean, the season's not over, right? I mean, you got 4 games left. You're going to play Louisville's, who's ranked, right? Then you got an open date. Then you got Florida State, obviously, Miami and Virginia, and those 2 are ranked. So 3 of the final 4 teams you're playing are ranked. Florida State started the season out ranked. And so you got some great opportunities here to make some noise at the end of the year. So it's going to help this team if they have a great game this week. They still should be fresh after the open date. I thought they came out with a lot of energy Saturday or Friday night. And now they got an extra day, and they got Louisville coming into their house. Then you got an open date, right? And then you got those final 3 games. So the schedule sets up nicely, even though it's against really, really good teams. But the opportunity is there for you to make some noise and, maybe become a spoiler, obviously, because these are ranked teams and they're good.
Well, Morris brings up something interesting. Who knows? Monty may make it very tough for them. Let's say he does go 6-3 and, you beat some of these people and then you're in a bowl game. I mean, that would make it very difficult for Tech just to say, we're not going to look at you. I don't know. He might be, who knows? He may still have time here. We'll see.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, that's why you hate that Wake Forest game went the way it was with those critical penalties that led to Wake Forest scoring on their drives. Almost every one of them cost them points. And, if you win that game, maybe Georgia Tech's different. Georgia Tech's still undefeated. They're really good. But still, you got another win under your belt going into these Final Four. So, yeah, he's done a heck of a job. I mean, I'm just happy for him. He's such a great person, too. And just happy it's worked out that way for him and his family.
Yeah, I mean, and we don't know. You got Louisville at home, Florida State now. They're in chaos, it feels like. Miami.
Yeah, they may quit by the time we get down there, right?
I know, right? Yeah, I mean, they could be done. They may just turn it in, but who knows? I mean, who knows? But well, it's great to hear about the all the folks that came back for the '95 NIT team. That's awesome, man. To get 11 out of 13 guys, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I know, and unfortunately, Bill Foster had passed away. The coach, he wasn't there, nor was Bobby Hussey. He was one of the coaches there as assistant coach and became the head coach and later on. And yeah, it was fun to see those guys back, and they all look like they're doing well. And just hearing them tell the stories about reminiscing and the time in New York, and that's when the NIT, they only played the semifinals and finals up there.
Yeah,
beat Marquette. They beat Marquette in the regular season. They turned around and beat them in the finals of the NIT. And Sean Smith got up there. Smitty got up there with 0.7 seconds left, gets fouled and has to make 2 free throws. You talk about pressure now. And I mean, he makes the first one and he makes the second one, and they throw up a long shot and the game's over. They win by 1 point. It was pretty crazy just to see the atmosphere and the celebration, and those guys still talk about it. It was fun. It was fun having those guys back here in the story. They did a great video showing stuff through the course of the season and all. It was fun. Good time.
Yeah, that is a good time. Well, Mike, it's always a great time with you. We want to thank Louise Baker again, the Louise Baker team, Long and Foster Realtors, for making Mike Burnop's appearance possible here on the program. And it's great you got to hang out with her at the basketball banquet as well. That's cool.
I know. It was fun. Awesome to see her. It had been a while, and got a big old hug, and she's looking good. And I think business is good, and she's happy. And yeah, we appreciate everything she does for the show, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. She's family. I mean, that's what she does. She comes in and becomes part of your family. So that's good. That's it. All right, man. Well, listen, enjoy your week. I know you're about to get double barrel busy here coming up, but hey, we'll see how it goes on Saturday at 3:00.
Yep. It's going to be fun. Hopefully the atmosphere will be great, which I'm sure it will be.
Yeah.
After last week, I think they'll have probably close to a sellout. If they don't, having a ranked team come in the house, and should be fun to watch. Yeah,
I think it's going to be a great atmosphere. I really do.
I think it's going to be dry, so that's good. After the wet week we're having,
and the field still looks great too.
You haven't had to use those blinds this week, have you? No sun.
No, I haven't had to. We got cloudy skies. I just leave the thing wide open. It's been great.
Good stuff.
All right, brother. Have a great week, man. We'll talk again next Tuesday.
All right, sounds good, Rick. You take care. Have a good week yourself.
All right, man. Be good. There you go. Mike Burnop joined it. Yeah, I haven't had to have the blinds on this week. Yeah, it's right now it's pretty gray out there. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Again, we want to thank all of our sponsors, NRB Super Bowl. Thanks to all of their help. Community, they've been serving the community for 25 years. Boogie Bowling coming up this Halloween, 9 to 11, 382-5525. See James Lawson's Mobile Home Supply, 300 North Franklin Street in Christiansburg. Don't forget, by the way, if you need a new vehicle, go see Brad Harvey's GM. They have helped me out tremendously over the last many years. My last 3 vehicles have come from Harvey's. Very proud to be able to talk to them. They have a great service department, too, at Harvey's. Great service department. Thanks to Professional Door Incorporated, sponsoring our text line, 540-391-0788. They need some folks to go up there and talk to them about working. They're expanding so much. They need quality workers. And I tell you what, you couldn't work for a better company. So we're going to try to find out some more information about those guys and what they're looking for. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner, BDST. How much of what you're watching now, sports-wise, do you think is legitimate with betting? That's the question from our attorney, Ryan Pry, for the BST fan question of the week, 701 West Main Street in Radford, Trust and Estate Planning. And apparently he's not doing any of that in Florida. I know Morris has been trying to get him down there. He's a Philly guy, Morris. I don't think he's going to. 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-29 71. We are presented to you every day by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment and all the great things that they have to offer. And you can't talk about it enough. It's just so vitally important what they're doing and the recognition that they had. And they've been out and reached out to all these other places. And you can experience Pulaski County the only way. And that's through all those folks there. Just terrific. Absolutely terrific. McClellan Chiropractic. Thanks to Mark Hundley for sponsoring our text line. It's blowing up. He says he gets people all the time coming to see him. And thank you for going to see him after seeing us talk about it here on the show. And, of course, Family Fencing, our studio sponsor, 540-200-8294. Go see Jason Green and the gang. They are awesome. They're going to work through the winter. FamilyFencingNRB.com, free quotes, all the materials you're ever going to want. No mess. They're the best. They're the best. People saying Monty deserves consideration. Rather take the butcher's wood for it. Exactly. I can get a good look at a Tebow, but yeah, exactly. Go to the experts. That's what I always do. Look, I learned that a long time ago. Grew up on a farm, did a lot of work, and you learn to do a lot of things. But my dad said, "Look, don't ever try to get so prideful that you try to do things you're not comfortable with, that you're not good at." And that's what I've taken with me my whole life. Like certain things that I don't mess with electricity stuff. Like I have a problem, I'm not good at it. I would just end up probably electrocuting myself, and I'll let somebody else take care of plumbing. I don't ever want to mess with water. And, there are experts who could do that. I have no problem with letting someone who's an expert do it. And that's the kind of people that we have here. And that's why I'm so honored to have all these folks sponsoring. We have a new sponsor coming on Monday, maybe another one as things are developing. So anybody who's out there wants to sponsor, let us know. I am calling today again about the T-shirts. Hopefully we'll find out coming up. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'll let you know. A lot of people have asked. I'll let you know. They're supposed to be done this week, but I'll find out where we are. It's early in the week. I think it was supposed to be early in the week. I didn't have a specific day, so we'll find out. Just to remind you, here's what they look like one more time. There you go. From Top Shelf Apparel and Brandon, front and back. So go get them. Go get them now. Well, when they're available, you can go get them. Please subscribe, like, and share the channel. Every subscriber we get is helpful. We're trying to get to 1,000. Remind people that it's free. Remember, those of you who are subscribed, if you just get one person to subscribe, we'll get there in a hurry. An absolute hurry. Jacob says, will there be any sizes for us fatties? Double X, there's some double X. There's double XX, double X, extra large, large, and a few of the mediums for the pipettes for the ladies. Yeah. So we will have double X is available. And we'll let you know the breakdown when we get them. But they're nice. They're going to be quality shirts. They don't do anything but quality materials there. We're not talking some little concert T-shirt that you could rip in half and make into your vehicle cleaning rag on the way home. These things are going to be cotton and very, very nice. Very, very nice. By the way, Wayne, thank you so much for the early birthday package. I got a nice bag of bacon jerky. Man, I love that stuff. I'm telling you, the Jack Link's bacon jerky is the best of all the jerky. It's made it so. Now, I've always eaten beef jerky all my life. Grew up on the farm. That's what you'd have out there. So you'd have in your back pocket and just work. But that Jack Link's bacon jerky, man, it is so good. So thank you, Wayne. I'm going to have that'll be my breakfast on the way to Radford this morning. So thank you so much. That's very nice of you. Very nice of you. Halloween birthday doesn't really feel like it with everything going on. Losing my fiance's mother last Saturday. I know we're trying to get out of town and all these things. It's just, but that was very nice. Very, very nice. Tomorrow on the Wednesday edition, we got a lot going on. Let's see. We know we have Keon Brown, Damian Sordelette, I believe David Teal. We'll check on all these folks and make sure. Jimmy says, finally we can breathe with cotton t-shirts. Just like in Seinfeld. It breathes. You see, cotton breathes. George, as he's explaining it. But these are nice. Yeah, these are very, very nice. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see, But the thing about it, I have touched base on. We're going to talk about that tomorrow with Keon and LeBron. That's his hero, man. What are we going to find out? Who knows if we'll find out anything? I have no confidence the NBA is going to do anything to support any investigation about this game, which it should. It should be of the utmost concern, because if your product is not legitimate and your games aren't real, then you'd become professional wrestling, which doesn't hide the fact that things that they do are scripted. I mean, you think Adam Silver would be more of it, but he just kind of shoved it away. And, we're very disturbed. We want our stuff. Well, you're not acting like it there, Adam. Ridiculous, man. Just ridiculous. But we'll see. But yeah, it'll be very interesting. I believe Michael Jordan's the greatest ever, and I believe that he took time off to play baseball because I think they were investigating gambling ties that he had. I know his dad was into it. I believe that. They never proved anything. Maybe they didn't look very hard. I don't know, but it feels like that's why, to take the heat off. I don't know. So would it surprise anybody? I don't know why, if you're a billionaire and LeBron is a billionaire, I don't know why any of those guys that are making so much money even bother. We've always said that the least likely, and I guess, again, you're proven wrong, because I always thought that the least likely scandal you would see would be in professional sports, modern times, because of all the money that's being earned. Now, we know what's going on in college basketball. We gave the information about 3 weeks ago, and then sure enough, the story came out that major scandals, major evidence showing that games not only are being won and lost in college hoops, especially at the mid-major level, the Radford type of school level, but point spreads and incidents of keeping spreads down, and then celebrations on the back. There I am. I don't know what happened there. My apologies. So, so I don't know. I'm surprised to see it be something the NBA now has to deal with full throttle going forward. But we'll see. We'll see. The gamblers cut me out for a second. Yeah, they didn't let me talking about it. Hey, get him off there. I'll wage you $5 if you can get him off there. But I hope everybody has a great day. Thank you so much again. Thanks to all of our guests here today. Marva in Miami, great as always. So was Brian Seigla. Check out the Boundary Corner podcast. No, it is a disease, TP. It is. It's an addiction, just like any other addiction. Gambling is an addiction. You're 100% right. It is. You're right. But check out Brian Seigla, the Boundary Corner, David Smith, and Mike Burnop. Everybody enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow on the Hump Day Wednesday edition as we slide over. Please, again, like, subscribe, share our channel content, and we will see you on Wednesday. Be good.